The odyssey has been long, full of peaks and valleys, twists and turns, blood and sweat. Now one team stands on the precipice, staring into oblivion for a second straight year, while the other stands before the summit, a chance to take the ring in front of their faithful. For the West, many contribute to success, but a 7-foot Atlas continues to carry the weight. While another giant looks to culminate 14 years of a colossal effort with a triumph for the ages. For the East, the sun will not rise tomorrow without victory today. A Herculean effort by their leader alone will not be enough. The entire band must pull as one, and pull like never before, for they are in the land of elimination. Welcome to the beginning of the end. The NBA Finals, Game 6. And the NBA Finals, Game 6, comes to you from the SBC Center in San Antonio, Texas. ABC Sports brings you the New Jersey Nets and the San Antonio Spurs. New Jersey hoping to push it another game. The Spurs can end it right here tonight. Welcome back inside, everybody. Brad Nessler with my partners, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, to all of you, and to my buddies, happy Father's Day, everybody. Here it is. The Nets have been here before. Last year they were swept by the Lakers. I mentioned earlier, Tom, they've proven they belong, but they need one good night to make it Game 7.
Just one. Just one. I mean, their shooting has been about as sour as milk with an expiration date of June 18th, 94. It is, if you're squeamish, you may want to turn away right now, because these numbers are, I don't know how to put it, other than just atrocious. 38% shooting, 27 from beyond the arc. Jason Kidd not getting it done. You look at the dejection in their face right now, and when your leading field goal percentage shooter is Richard Jefferson at 42%, I mean, these numbers right here are right up there with gasoline and Mexican food as all-time vomit inducers. You can't shoot, you can't win. It's that simple.
Bill, for San Antonio, what they haven't done is closed out series at home, so that's the question mark for them tonight.
Brad, closeout games are always the hardest, but separation has occurred, as San Antonio has set a pace that the Nets simply can't match, and that pace has been set by Tim Duncan, who has established himself in this series as the best player in the world today, but also as a historical level figure that few can match. Impressive numbers across the board, a testament to his overall greatness, and a record-setting block pace for the NBA Finals. And then there's David Robinson, who without him, none of this, or even us, would be even here. Not the championship of '99, not the new building here, heck, probably not even the franchise. Tonight is a chance to say goodbye and thank you to David Robinson one last time. Now, the Spurs, they have a chance to do something really special here. You never really get very many of those in life. You don't want to let those slip away. Tonight is about closure, about Tim Duncan simply being the best, but it's also about David Robinson riding the last wave of the day. We have come to the end of the line. Blow it out, big men, blow it out. The celebration has begun.
They're already starting in here. It's already begun, but they got some work to do, and that work involves the Nets and the Spurs. Game 6. Nets are not dead yet, and they let everybody know that. Can they hang tonight, or can the Spurs finish it? We'll find out in a moment.
Well, look who showed up early. You trying to make me look bad?
Checking my email, actually.
On your MP3 player?
Yeah.
Oh. I guess that means you won't be needing this?
No.
No? Well. That's my laptop.
Right now, buy a Kyocera smartphone from Verizon Wireless and get a $100 rebate.
Love him, hate him, you gotta watch him. Rome is Burning. Tuesdays at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
This summer, ABC presents the Monday Comedy Showcase.
Hey, Dad.
Could you knock?
Like I'm gonna walk in on anything.
Every Monday night, 2 full hours, the brightest stars, the biggest laughs.
Wanted to make you breakfast in bed, but you accidentally locked the door and put the dresser in front of it.
It all starts with 2 hours of My Wife and Kids, 8/7 Central, ABC Monday.
There's a lot of summer between sunrise and sunset. Enjoy every minute and every mile with Chevrolet. Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on every 2003 Chevy Trailblazer, Tahoe, Suburban, and Avalanche. Or get $3,000 cash back, $4,000 cash on Avalanche. See your local Chevy dealer today.
Toyota presents the first annual Kirk Lee Celebrity All-Star Basketball Game. No matter what the sport or form of entertainment, see scheduled All-Star celebrities like Master P and Lil Romeo, Juan Dixon, Hashim Rahman, Moochie Norris, Sam Cassell, Steve Francis, Nick Van Exel, and other fan favorites. It all happens Saturday, June 21st at Towson University's Towson Center, with the pregame tipping off at 4. For tickets, head to any Baltimore metro area downtown locker room and We Are One locations, or call 443-463-4675.
It took 100 years to get to this event, Ford's 100-hour savings event. Get 0% financing for 5 full years. 0% saves you up to $9,700 in finance charges, or choose up to $4,500 cash back. Plus, active or retired military personnel get an additional $750 towards the purchase or lease of most Ford vehicles. That's up to $5,250 cash back. You can't afford to miss Ford's 100-hour savings event. But hurry, time is running out.
Call Katz for a car or homeowner's insurance rate comparison.
Set for the Nets and the Spurs in Game 6 as we check our Bud Light starting lineups. Let's go to our PA announcer, Stan Kelly.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to San Antonio in the beautiful SBC Center for tonight's Game 6 of the NBA Finals between the Eastern Conference champions, New Jersey Nets, and your Western Conference champions, San Antonio Spurs. Here is the starting lineup for New Jersey. At one forward, 6'9", from Cincinnati, number 6, Kenyon Martin. The other forward, 6'7", from Arizona, number 24, Richard Jefferson. Starting at one guard, 6'4", for the University of California, number 5, Jason Kidd. And the other guard, 6'5", from Villanova, number 30, Kerry Kittles. And at center for New Jersey, 7 foot, from Stanford, number 35, Jason Collins. The head coach for New Jersey, Byron Scott. From Cal State Fullerton, number 12, Bruce Bowen. Starting at one guard, 6'8", from the Oak Hill Academy, number 3, Steven Jackson. At the other guard, 6'2", from Paris, number 9, Tony Parker. And appearing in his final playoff series, starting at center, 7'1", from the U.S. Naval Academy, 5'0", David Robinson.
To say this crowd is supercharged would be the understatement of the year. Game 6, Nets and Spurs, next.
Can Jimmy play?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy?
Oops.
Can Jimmy come play?
Hi, Derek. Jimmy?
Can Jimmy play?
Jimmy?
Slot right, Texas. 22-on-2.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's my job.
Back in San Antonio, let's check in with the rest of our starting five as we go to Stuart Scott.
Brad, the Nets are exactly where they were a year ago, on the verge of being eliminated, and it is a feeling they have not forgotten. Kerry Kittles told me losing the title last year left a bad taste in his mouth. I said, well, what did it taste like? He thought about it and said, bad gumbo, made worse by the fact that we lost him on my birthday, June 12th. Now, I don't know if it was gumbo that made Kenyon Martin sick in games 4 and 5, but he said his head is clear, and his mode is the same as it was last year against the Lakers. Attack, 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 attack. 35 points, 11 boards last year when they lost. For report from the Spurs, let's go to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Stu, the Spurs have not been able to close out a playoff series at home. They've lost 3 of their last 4 playoff games in this building, and they haven't been able to win back-to-back games in this series. But Tony Parker told me moments ago this team is thrilled to be at home. He told me winning Game 5 gave them enormous confidence. They need just one more win, which has sharpened their focus. His hope is that the offense shows up. He said, we haven't played good offense since Game 1. We hope to see it tonight, Brad.
Dan Crawford threw it up. The ball has come to the Nets, and we're underway. Bob Delaney and Rod Gerritsen, the other officials tonight. Here's Kenyon Martin. Jefferson with a tip.
Well, when you don't shoot well, it's always nice to get easy buckets. I firmly believe the Nets going to have a chance tonight. Not only going to have to shoot well, but how they're going to have to shoot well. When you get an open shot and it's your shot, take it, don't pass it up, and shoot something more difficult later on in the shot clock.
Amazingly enough, the rebounds have been dead even in this series.
Jackson lost it on the dribble. Nets have a chance to go up 5 if that goes, and it does.
Great start for Jason Kidd, as in Game 5, where he started the first half 4 for 4, started the second half 5 for 6. It was finishing the half that was a major problem for Kidd.
So a 5-0 hole, and Jackson, who turned it over, takes a bad shot there. Here come the Nets on the run. It's Kittles. Missed it, and Robinson's there for the rebound.
Well, this has been their quarter. The Nets have had the first quarter. Other than that, they've really struggled. So it's nothing new for the Spurs to get behind or the Nets to be up in the first.
It's the second quarter that's been the nightmare. 2 games that they've won, they have played well in the second quarter.
Duncan gives it up to Bowen. Bowen weaving through traffic up over Collins. Tipped. And loose ball out of bounds to San Antonio.
Greg Popovich, the message to his team coming in tonight: play within the system. We're not looking for any heroes here. How do we win? We win with our constant defense, which leads to control of the boards, but don't forget to play on the offensive end and get it to Duncan. And Tim Duncan, your charge is to shoot every time you touch it tonight.
And an errant pass, and so Jackson's made 2 mistakes and taken a bad shot, and that has been a recurring theme.
And Ginobili quickly up off the bench. This might be the quickest substitution in the history of the NBA Finals.
It's coming pretty early, that's for sure. Ginobili will have to wait as the Nets lead 5-0 in the opening minute 45. Kenyon Martin over Duncan. Duncan will clear off the miss.
We'll see if they can get some easy buckets coming back. Realize this. I know they've lost 1 game at home, but they were shooting 49% for the 2 games they played at home.
So David Robinson off the dish from Parker. makes it 5-2.
Byron Scott telling us that he's been so disappointed with the team's closeout defense. They're just allowing guys to waltz their way to the hoop.
Jefferson penetrates and gives it to Collins. Block shot inside. Robinson pulls it down.
I think I'd give a half to Duncan, half to Robinson there.
I'm good with that. Tony Parker looking for a pick from Duncan, gives it right back to him. And now Tim driving on Kenyon Martin and got it.
We have seen literally every shot imaginable in this series from Tim Duncan. Is there anything you can't do? How do you guard a guy that skilled, that versatile, that complete?
So the Nets score 5 straight. Now back-to-back buckets, makes it a 1-point ball game. Martin faces Duncan.
Too much standing around.
And another shot blocked inside.
Hey, you can't get in the mode of just dumping and standing around. Someone has to cut. You want to move? Go ahead and feel free to set a screen away from the ball.
4 seconds on the shot clock as Bowen will inbound. Martin gonna have to hurry. A runner, and he got it.
He looks so much better than he did in Game 5 on Friday night. A completely different ball player. He won't be coming out at the 4-minute mark of this game.
Tony Parker, nice screen, and his teardrop drops. Parker's first basket.
You know, I saw the second half of last game. The shoulders squared up a little bit. The chin was up a little bit more. And he looked like the player that started this series.
Had 3 great games to start, and then a terrible one he'd like to forget. Kenyon Martin, top of the circle, got another one. So Martin, as Bill said, fresh, healthy, and he gives, again, the Nets a 3-point lead.
Another defensive adjustment for Byron Scott. Kerry Kittles on Tony Parker as much as possible.
Ginobili airballed one, same spot that he could have won one of the ball games earlier in this series from.
Kenyon Martin off very strong, moving beautifully without the ball. No hesitation whatsoever. The Nets have to accept the fact they're not going to score at the rim. They've got to pull up and make those mid-range jumpers, not the strong part of their game.
Martin's already got as many points as he had in the whole ball game last time around. Jason Kidd outside, and he airballs a 3 to Duncan, who's waiting on the weak side for it.
Love the way Duncan drives it out himself. Shoot the ball, Tim.
I think he would love to play point guard for one game. So I'm out here shooting 3s before the game. All big guys want to be little guys every once in a while.
Robinson, big sweeping hook. Kittles with a rebound.
I think Duncan is the point guard if you define the point guard as the playmaker.
And the leader. There's no doubt he's both of those things. Martin feeling it. Not this time, though, and David Robinson with a rebound.
I like that look, though. If that's your shot and you're open, let it fly.
Parker almost walked with it. And 3-second violation. So San Antonio turns it over for the 3rd time.
You talked about the offensive explosion by Kenyon Martin early here. That 4-point output in Game 5 was the lowest point production for Kmart since February 5th, a game you and I did in Philadelphia when he had to leave that game early with a knee injury.
Kidd trying to get it into Collins. He has not been an offensive threat. That's kind of why.
And as just a second-year player, Jason Collins, who's made vast strides, will have to develop that short little 12-foot jumper to help his squad down the road.
Almost halfway through the quarter, we haven't seen a foul yet. And Tim Duncan's got his second basket off the glass. Nice-looking shot.
These games, the experience of the NBA Finals, besides teaching you how hard it is to win the title, how rough and fast these finals games go.
Jefferson hangs in the air, and RJ knocks it down. He's got 4.
Well, he goes up in the air. You start coming down, he stays up in the air. That's how high he can get.
And we've got a timeout taken by Greg Popovich with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Good start for the Nets. Spurs bounce back. And Richard Jefferson on the last basket gives the Nets a 3-point lead with 6:10 remaining first quarter.
You know I like you, and I like you a lot. I like Janice a lot, too, and I know she's your roommate.
Janice?
Wait, can I fit? I'm not sure how to say this to you. You know that I like you a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's just that I like Janice a lot, too, and I know she's your roommate, and I
So
wouldn't...
date both of us.
What? What did you say?
The world is full of individuals with their own personalities, their own quirks, their own fingerprints. They cannot be put in a box. Why should they drive one? The V6 Nissan Altima.
Simply astonishing. Unimaginable. Ang Lee takes blockbuster filmmaking into a brave new world. And there is no going back. The Hulk, rated PG-13, at theaters Friday.
It's the end all of why you play, to finally go for the ring, because that's what we're judged on as athletes.
When you put that ring on, then you have immortalized yourself as a unique player on a unique team.
Saying that you're the best, okay, in the NBA. And that's what it stands for. You're the best in the NBA.
The NBA Finals, Game 7, Nets versus Spurs. Coverage begins Wednesday at 8 p.m. on ABC.
A dirty little secret is uncovered.
It's insulting to women. No, it says there right on the cover, a celebration of women.
8 simple rules, ABC Tuesday.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Hulk, this summer, experience the incredible. And Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser.
I don't consider myself a great coach yet. I'm still a baby in this. It would be an unbelievable feat to have a championship after just 3 years of being a head coach. I consider myself a good coach. But somewhere down the line, they'll hopefully put me in the same category as a Pat Riley.
A lot of people have talked about the mannerisms of the two. Pat Riley and Byron Scott. Byron says, I didn't really know it until somebody pointed it out to me.
It was eerie because, like I said, I never envisioned myself being so much like Riles.
When you learn from the master teachers, like a Pat Riley. In the early days, Byron Scott couldn't stand him. Was part of the revolt that drove Pat Riley from Los Angeles in the late 80s. Now, as a mature adult and trying to become the 11th person in the history of the NBA to win a championship both as a player and a head coach, Byron Scott has become Pat Riley, the ultimate testament.
You saw in those mannerisms, one guy had the right hand on the chin, one had the left. Keep in mind, one guy was left-handed. Here's a rebound by Kittles, and the outlet to Jason Kidd.
Well, you look at what's happened so far in this game and why the Nets have been able to take a lead. Go back to game 2, the game that they won here. They had 15 more shots than the Spurs and forced the Spurs into 21 turnovers. Right now, 4 more shots and the Spurs 3 TOs.
And Collins inside. Jason scoring for the first time and makes it a 5-point ball game again.
This is the highest level of basketball that we've attained in the series to date. It has taken to game 6 to come anywhere close to this level.
Are they just getting warmed up? Here's Parker.
Why did they wait so long?
Bowen gave up a 3. Got his man in the air and missed the shot in close.
Well, they're doing a great job of closing out on him. Make him bounce it and try to score off the dribble. Not as effective.
He's trying to get back to get on Kittles, and Kittles feeds Collins again.
They're finally realizing, New Jersey, that the big men are coming every time.
The lead swells to 7 at the 5-minute mark, first quarter. 6-0 run now by the Nets.
Offensive foul away from the ball. David Robinson trying to set a screen. The penetration is just killing the San Antonio Spurs here.
David Robinson, first foul of the game as we check in with Stuart Scott. Stu.
Well, Brad, you know Jason Collins has to have a nickname. It's the right of all young players. It couldn't be little Jason. Jason Kidd's on his team, so they simply call him Twin. You know, his twin brother Jerron played with him in college. It's that simple. Twin does this, Twin does that. They never call him Jason Collins. It's always Twin, Brad.
They probably call Jaron the same thing in Utah. Kidd missed the shot. Malik Rose, who just checked in, has got his first rebound.
I want to know which one's Schwarzenegger, which one's DeVito.
Jaron and his parents, Paul and Portia, have been at all the games of this NBA Finals.
And now we got another foul. This one's going to be on Terry Kittles.
Well, the thing the Nets have done so well here in the first half of the first quarter is being aggressive, driving, penetrating, finding those seams that we talked about, and then kicking off to other players instead of being stagnant, just standing around.
Tim Duncan's been very good from the line the last 2 games, and he rips that one. Log on to the NBA store on NBA.com right now and pre-order the official 2003 NBA Finals DVD. Love it live on NBA.com.
In our pregame meeting with Greg Popovich tonight, he was telling us about Tim Duncan and how he's the most coachable player he has ever come across. How he'll come in, Tim Duncan, and request films of his own game, request films of his opponents. Constant discussions that they have about how to play basketball. Tim Duncan, requested films, old game films of Kevin McHale to improve his offensive repertoire. And boy, has that ever paid off.
He has learned well and continues to get better game in and game out. Ron Gerritsen said, hey, that was my fault. Ball's going the other way initially. Out of bounds to the Spurs. They give it back to the Nets and correct themselves. Jason Kidd. Here's Steven Jackson back in there with a rebound. See what he does with it. Ginobili fouled by Jason Kidd.
Yeah, and just to get back to the officiating, I know usually we only point them out when they do something bad, but I love the fact when they can sit there and say, you know what, my bad, let me go ahead and correct that. And a nice job of Jackson pushing the ball. When you push the ball, good things happen. Ginobili taking it strong.
Ginobili's first point. Ginobili double figures in the last 2 games at 12 in game 5, 10 in game 4. Lucius Harris checking in right now for Kittles.
He's the guy that needs to get going.
Yeah.
The entire bench for New Jersey. The discrepancy in bench play has been huge in this series. Never more evident than in game 5.
1 of 2 free throws by Ginobili makes it 15-10 Nets. Kidd taking Parker to the baseline and brings it way back outside to Jefferson. 5 on the shot clock. Jefferson will go deep. Got it. Just inside the 3-point line. That's a little deeper than Jefferson usually shoots, but with a shot clock winding down, he buries it, and it's a 7-point game again.
Well, those shots are always fun to take because you have to shoot it. I couldn't pass it to you. It's winding down.
Tony Parker, his offense not on so far, and Jefferson way up there for the rebound.
Jefferson's going to be open in transition here.
Kidd from 16, and he knocks it down.
I'm telling you, he is so much better on those shots of transition.
You pointed that out the other night. You're right.
I would take more if I were him. When he gets to the half court, then I try to set people up. But, boy, let it fly.
Spurs are approaching 3.5 minutes without a field goal. And that one doesn't go either, but Duncan will take another, and he knocks it in.
Where would the Spurs be without Tim Duncan?
Probably not in this series. That's for sure.
Jeez.
Think they might be drafting in the top 13 in a couple weeks?
That's maintaining the lead on the road. Tough place to play with this crowd. Oh, Kenyon Martin waited for a call from the official. Oh. Now he shoves Malik Rose. And Bob Delaney says, what are you doing, Kenyon, just because you didn't get the call?
And fortunately, Byron Scott quickly calls a timeout to put things back under control. Losing your mind, Kmart. What is going on out here?
He struggled with the flu and with his emotions in the last game. And you take a look here, he didn't like the Ginobili steal. He turns around, lets Malik Rose have one in the sternum. That's what forced the whistle. 2:40 left first quarter.
Ooh, look at that MVP move. MVP? Oh, come on, player. The real MVP
just slammed it home.
Now, Verizon Wireless lets you help choose the NBA Finals 2003 MVP. Just text MVP to the number 622 to participate. Then, during a deciding game of the finals, you'll be sent a ballot. Vote for your favorite player. Because every night you vote, you're entered in our sweepstakes for a chance to win a high-definition TV and wireless phone. So text MVP to the number 622 now to get started.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
I have spent a weekend in Vegas
without a hotel room.
I have driven 150 miles
for 3 rolled tacos.
I've given a toast at a wedding
that I wasn't even invited to.
I have French kissed a French woman.
I have called shotgun 11 hours before a road trip.
I've eaten condiments as a meal. I have dated Carmen Electra's cousins,
friends,
sister.
A million uses and counting. The 210 horsepower supercharged Nissan Xterra.
If this is how the world ends, only he can stop it.
I am a machine.
Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, July 2nd.
ABC presents Faith Ford and Kelly Ripa. Like you've never seen them before. Do it! Hope and Faith, Fridays this fall.
I play with a chip on my shoulder, you know. I play with that edge, you know. I have to, you know. If I don't, then I'm not gonna play anymore. You know, once I lose that fire and that edge, you know, I'm gonna call it quits. I'm gonna still play hard. I'm gonna still get in your face, talk trash to you, cuss you, hit you, no matter what. It's all about heart and determination, man. I feel I have one of the biggest hearts in this league, and I'll play anybody, no matter who he is.
Having the edge is fine for Kenyon Martin as we take a look at first Rose battling him in the low block, and Rose gets away with a push in the back. Martin turns around, was looking for a call from the official, had the ball swiped by Ginobili, and then when he turned around, the chip on the shoulder was Malik Rose's as he shoved him going down court. And here's another look from another angle.
And going over the edge has cost Kenyon Martin dearly. That in Game 5 Friday night, he had a season-high 8 turnovers, including 3 in a disastrous minute 21 span of the critical fourth quarter. You've got to play within yourself at all times.
Still the Nets lead by 7. Duncan with Martin on him. Spurs move it around the perimeter. Jackson will take a 3 in and out.
But you know, those passes aren't right on the money. And you see something they haven't been able to do in the previous 5 games they're doing tonight is the perimeter shooting. 6 for 13, right around 50%. If that can keep up, they're going to be in great shape.
Well, how long is that going to last, though?
Well, I said if it could.
Jefferson, nice feed inside to Williams, but Tim Duncan has blocked his 3rd shot of the quarter.
Everybody's talking about the inept offense of the New Jersey Nets. This is a fine offense. They're playing against one of the great defenses of all time.
Ginobili, tough travels inside and got hip checked by Aaron Williams.
Well, this may be a fine offense, but certainly isn't a fine offense in this series. And you look right here, Duncan. I mean, these guys are tremendous defenders. There is no question about that. But Ginobili right here hitting the seam and just taking one on the hip and getting himself to the free throw line.
But with Ginobili, 2 out of 3 from the stripe as we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Brad, during the last huddle, Greg Popovich reminding his team how well they close out periods. He wanted them to use these last couple of minutes to do that, but he reminded them to slow down on offense, play with some calmness, make some stops, rebound, and he even said, don't forget to have fun, Brad.
They'd like to get 20 points in a first quarter. They still got a long ways to go with 1:38 remaining in the first. But as Michelle mentioned the other night, had they not closed out every quarter, they might have lost that ball game to the Nets. But they did close out in fine fashion in the first, second, third, and fourth.
And here's the zone defense for the first time of the night for San Antonio.
Foul on the entry pass inside, and it's going to be on Ginobili.
Byron Scott telling us before the game that the pregame adjustments were all about attacking that zone defense, figuring out what they're going to do, what the strategy is, try to get something going at that foul line area, the critical offensive zone.
And Jackson got a hand on the ball, but it's Jefferson. Malik Rose blocked the shot. Nets get it back. Now Ginobili almost strips Jefferson.
New shot clock.
Jefferson just trying to force one up there. Here's the outlet to Ginobili if he can track it down.
Tony Parker's wide open at the three-point line. Byron Scott cannot believe that Richard Jefferson is not going to the free throw line.
Jefferson can't believe it either. Let's take a look at it on his last drive. There's the first one.
That looks like a foul to me.
Like a little skin there.
You know, you get hit in the back, on the side, and in the head by Malik Rose.
I think his second entry into the lane was worse.
Well, had him up. It should have been one foul. And this is the second one going right down the middle of the lane.
He lost the ball.
Yeah, that one he did lose.
That one he lost the ball. I think he got hit on the arm after he lost the ball.
Ginobili struggling from the free throw line mightily. 3 out of 6 and not even close on the 3 he missed.
You know you're in trouble when you're racing over the line on your own free throw miss to get the rebound.
And to pick up the violation as well.
Sound like you speak from experience.
And there's a technical on Byron Scott. He never let up, and Dan Crawford hit him with it just now. So Malik Rose will step up to shoot the technical.
Byron Scott's in a different position than Greg Popovich is. Greg Popovich and Jerry Sloan of the Utah Jazz always lead the NBA in technical fouls per season because his players don't argue back. Byron Scott, he's got players that will argue, that will get technicals. But you have to protect your guys going to the hoop.
Here's Harris inside, and Duncan. This time it's a foul. He got the ball, but he also got some of Harris.
This is a shot blocking clinic by Tim Duncan. David Robinson when he's in. We are easily going to be in record-breaking territory by the half.
Tim's already had 2 games in which he's blocked 7 shots in each. He has 3 in the first quarter here tonight as Harris, and he talked that one in from the free throw line. If the Nets can pull it out, we'll be back here for Game 7 Wednesday. It'll be the first time in 9 years the championship would come down to the final game. If you're not at home, you can listen to the game on ESPN Radio Wednesday night, if necessary, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC, your home for the NBA Finals.
We'll see maybe if that's something that can get Lucius Harris going. Sometimes that's all it takes. Skip to the free throw line, get a couple easy ones.
Nice.
Oh, my.
Nice.
Rose got away from Williams. He was so shocked he was open, he lost the ball.
Aaron Williams had no idea where he was.
Where would you like the ball next time? These guys, San Antonio, they're playing tight. Greg Popovich has got to do something to loosen them up. More offense for Tim Duncan.
Anthony Johnson in there with Williams and Jefferson. Jefferson has an open look, and he knocked it off the backboard. I don't think he called that one.
Excuse me?
Jefferson with 8, and the lead again is 8.
If that were Poole, they would have taken the white ball and put it back. I say, you know, we can't have that.
I know we had to put a buck in this machine, but we can't have that. Duncan wants it down low. 21 seconds left. Nice. The feed to Jackson as he slices through the lane.
Which just begs the question, why don't they give it to Tim Duncan every time down? Zone defense to close the quarter for San Antonio.
23-17, 6 seconds left. Kenyon Martin, long range. Jefferson hammers it home.
And that's the problem with zone defense. There's no box-out responsibilities.
And again, the Spurs for 6 straight games, it's never happened before, don't score 20 points in a quarter. But the Nets did. In fact, they scored 25. And the last one was with some authority by the guy that's leading them in scoring tonight as Richard Jefferson goes up and gets it and knocks it down. 10 points in the quarter for RJ, and a good quarter for the New Jersey Nets on the road. Tough place to play. Their teammates looking on. They lead it at the end of one. 25-17. Nets in front.
An ancient curse has been unleashed. You don't know what this is, do you? Now, Jack Sparrow.
That's got to be the best pirate I've ever seen.
And Will Turner.
We have to hunt him down.
You are a blacksmith. Must find a way to stop it.
It's begun.
Get ready for the greatest adventure under the sun. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. This film is not yet rated.
Introducing the all-wheel drive Infiniti FX, the SUV with the heart of a sports car. The new Infiniti FX.
Yeah, it'll be good to see everyone. But let's stay someplace cool this year. Mom and Dad need to live a little... modern. Call you right back.
Lots of photos and everything else you need to choose the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com. And now it's all Holyfield. Ooh,
You know, for $1 million, I would totally go around with Holyfield. What? What? How bad could it be?
That's all you got?
Tell it over a great-tasting, less-filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Look at this. The ring girl likes me.
They have dominated the West and are led by the league's most valuable player.
Here's Duncan. Turns, scores!
But the Nets have answered their call to battle.
Oh!
Now, with everything at stake, can the Spurs take one giant step closer to victory and an NBA championship?
How sweet it is in San Antonio.
The NBA Finals, Game 7, Nets versus Spurs. Coverage begins Wednesday at 8 p.m. on ABC.
I hope that I give the team confidence. Jason Kidd, point guard, New Jersey Nets. As much as I rely on my teammates to help me be successful, I want to help them.
He gets me the ball in places where I don't have to do nothing with it but put it in the hole. He leads by example. You know, that's why he's our captain. No matter where he goes, the entire team will follow.
Jason Kidd had 5 points early, and he has given the Nets that confidence they need on the road. They're off to a good start, up 25-17.
If you can't play with Jason Kidd, you can't play. Everybody talks about the inept shooting for the New Jersey Nets, and that's why they can't win. In Game 5, they had 16 turnovers that led to 24 San Antonio points. That's virtually scoring on every single turnover. And lo and behold, a Steve Kerr sighting in the first half. Remarkable.
Kerr, who had 6 points in the fourth quarter, 2 big shots, and an even bigger steal that helped seal Game 5. He's in there, and so is Speedy Claxton. Nice feed from Duncan to Jackson, and Jackson points as if to say, thanks, Tim.
Passes it from the low post, passes it from the high post, but you got to have a cutter.
They can't even get the ball up court.
Kerr on Harris. So it's Harris and Johnson staying in there with Jason Kidd on the bench. Jefferson's been the man so far.
He's feeling it. He's just determined to get to the hoop every time.
Tipped in by Aaron Williams.
And the reason he was there for the offensive rebound is because Jefferson's aggressiveness. Big guy has to come over and help. Opens up an offensive rebounding lane.
And it's Richard Jefferson and Kenyon Martin, which gives the Net franchise so much hope for the future. These guys are tireless players that can go all day, never get worn down, and have incredible athleticism.
Speedy Claxton missed inside. Malik Rose keeps it alive. Rose, Kenyon Martin knocked it down and blocked it.
Well, they're letting them play on both ends.
Well, Kenyon Martin only has one foul, and that's a very good sign. Anthony Johnson continues his stellar performance, one of just a handful of guys who's shooting a decent percentage in this series. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to play very much playing behind Kidd.
The lead is double figures for the Nets as they're up 10 with a little over 10 to go first half. Duncan again finds Rose, and he's fouled before he lost the ball out of bounds. As we check in again with Michelle.
Well, they put Steve Kerr in early because they were hoping to stretch the defense. As for Richard Jefferson, Greg Popovich said to his huddle, hey, he is killing us. Make it a priority to block him out and give people help defending him. They were really impressed with Richard Jefferson's first quarter, guys.
Everybody was. 10 points to lead all scorers right now. Duncan, they double team him. Johnson forces a turnover. Martin the outlet to Jefferson.
He's going to the hoop.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. We saw this come alive in Game 4 when he was just so embarrassed from playing so poorly in the first 3 games.
Well, I think, after he banked that one in, yeah, it's my night.
Yeah, it's my night.
Let's let it roll. Let's see how hot I am.
10 minutes to go, second quarter. This is Game 6 of the NBA Finals. It's nice to have you along with us. San Antonio and R.J. Walker with that one. That's only the second Nets turnover, though. Bill was talking about the turnover problems they have. They are not having that tonight.
Well, hey, going into the second quarter, they were +9 in field goal attempts and -5 in turnovers. I mean, that's a formula for winning. If they can get 100 shots up, I'll tell you what, you look at right there, 7. We've seen this before, too.
Yep.
Match field goal for turnover, 1 for 1. Not a good ratio.
Kerr wanted it to get it to Duncan so badly, he waited until he fell down and got back up, and then Duncan inside, outside to Speedy Claxton, and just that quickly, Speedy's in the books.
What a players. What a series. What a finals. One of 7 players on the current roster, Speedy Claxton, who's a free agent at the end of this season.
Jefferson feeling it. The outside jumper won't go, and Rose the rebound.
Hey, he might get up 30 shots tonight.
Good.
Claxton fighting a double team. Jackson weaves through traffic and misses. Rose with a foul.
Steven Jackson playing a wild and erratic game. Tim Duncan's not getting enough touches. Now they're going to take Tim Duncan out.
Kenyon Martin talking with Dan Crawford. Martin was trying to take the ball away from Rose after the foul was called, and Rose held the ball away from him. And you'll see right here, the foul was called, and then Kenyon says, I'll take that. And Malik said, no, you're not going to take that. And they separated the two.
Little chippy.
Just a little chippy.
Good.
It's time to get chippy. And here's a turnover. Kerr tried to get the outlet pass, mishandled it.
Where's the leadership going to come from?
Nobody near Claxton, but he missed it. Wide open.
Well, now with Duncan on the bench, how do you generate your offense? Who do you go to?
Anthony Johnson got the roll.
Speedy Claxton has to run the show for San Antonio, but David Robinson has to be the calming influence out there.
It's Claxton and Kerr in the backcourt. Rose, Jackson, Robinson. Actually more like a 3-guard offense. Williams on Rose. Nice push pass to Claxton. Out to Jackson for 3. Got it! Cuts a 10-point lead to 7 just like that.
Speedy Claxton has been able to sustain, even improve the Spurs attack when he has come in to the lineup.
Martin just turns and deals on Rose, but he missed it, and Rose has another rebound, his 4th.
Find a guard here, Steven Jackson.
Claxton gives it up to Rose. He goes down the lane, and no foul.
The fans here, a little chippy.
Greg Popovich still looking for a foul call. Still didn't get it. His team trails 31-24 on ABC Sports, your home of the NBA Finals.
When I totally lose control, I like it. This summer, the big men come out to play. Experience the incredible.
Michelin designed the cross-terrain SUV tires specifically for SUVs to help provide responsive handling and a smooth ride. You'd be surprised just how smooth. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. Want to help Special Olympics? Want a Michelin Man bobblehead? Go to MichelinMan.com to find out how.
Lesson 1.
Stilvoll.
Stylish.
Kraftvoll.
Powerful.
Was für ein Auto ist das?
What kind of car is this?
Introducing the all-new 240 horsepower Accord from Honda. Wie haben Sie das geschafft?
How did they do it?
Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silent.
The comforts of home. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted at home stores everywhere.
Taco Bell's new chicken enchilada bowl. Grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice and beans, a traditional slow-simmered sauce, and 3 cheeses, all melting together. To experience enchilada nirvana, you've got to think outside the bun.
Drew Carey's back, and he's back-to-back every Wednesday.
But I still feel like I got needles sticking in my arm.
That's weird, because I've been sticking them in your crotch.
All new, starting June 25th on ABC.
Kenyon Martin getting a little breather on the bench, or maybe he's going to join the witness protection program. I'm not sure, because it's getting a little physical right now for him. Watch Kenyon Martin, first the block on Rose, working against Tim Duncan, helping force a steal, and then the outlet pass. But watch the work against Robinson and then Rose. There's some banging going on, and then Rose comes on and he says, wait a minute, I'm going to have to pick him off too right about in here.
No need for Kenyon Martin to hide whatsoever underneath that towel. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Come out here, set a physical tone and presence, get the crowd on him, tell the world this is how it's going to be. We've come here to play. We've come here to win.
He's only had one bad game, and that was when he was ill with the flu, and that was game 5 tonight. He's been a lot fresher and a heck of a lot tougher. And his team is now 31-23. During that timeout, they went back and looked at Steven Jackson's, what was, we thought, a 3-point play. They changed it to a 2. In fact, they're still doing that officially anyway. So it's not 31-24, 31-23.
And in that timeout, Greg Popovich realized he's got to come back with Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker can only dream about sniffing some action right here. Speedy Claxton has put him on the bench.
And now we got a little break here with the clock malfunctioning, and should have it cleaned up here in just a second. Let's check in with Stuart Scott while they fix the clocks, Stu.
Brad, Jason Kidd is coming back into the game, but he's coming back to play 2 guard. They like the way Anthony Johnson has been playing point guard, so they're going to use both of them in there. Johnson at the point, they're going to try and post up Jason Kidd. The last time out, 4 different players, including Donnie Marshall, went up to Anthony Johnson in his ear, telling him congratulations, telling him keep going. Jason Kidd talking for a good 20 seconds. Even Dikembe Mutombo came over, whispered in his ear for a good 20 seconds and just said, keep it up.
Well, Anthony Johnson, you know, a guy that has had to battle just to be in this league. And there you get a good look at him. He spent about 3 years with the Atlanta Hawks and then was with the Cavaliers in the preseason. He signed as a free agent right before Halloween. It's been a lot more treat than it has been trick for him.
And he wasn't even supposed to be the backup guard this year. That was supposed to be Chris Childs. Anthony Johnson was on his way out the door, but when Chris Childs couldn't push himself away from the dinner table, the Nets threw up their hands in disgust and said, get out of here, Chris. We're giving the job back to Anthony Johnson. He's made the most of it.
This is a physical backcourt, too, that the Nets got going on right here.
Yeah, there's some muscle.
Defensively handle him.
But Aaron Williams threw it away.
You can handle that, I guess.
A rare error by Aaron Williams, who has played Super Bowl in this series.
Probably his best game was game 5, as he had 10 points and 7 rebounds and a block shot. Tonight, he's off to a pretty good start as well, despite that turnover.
The sense in this series of the Spurs' dominance has come when they have relentlessly pounded it to the hoop. They have not done that tonight. They've got to get back to what makes them the odds-on favorite to win this championship.
Inside, outside, and Claxton knocks it down again. When Duncan draws the double team, Claxton's been wide open.
One of the beautiful things about Duncan's passing is that he gives it up early enough. He doesn't wait until he is smothered so that he can't use his feet to deliver the ball.
He's already got 4 assists tonight.
And 3 blocks as well.
Johnson a little out of control, and he missed the shot, and Duncan pulls it down.
I think Speedy might have blocked that one.
Speedy actually had 2 blocks in Game 5. Here's the lob inside. Robinson blocked from behind by Williams. And Kerry Kittles got it in the eye from somebody. Jason Kidd waits for Bowen to go in the air and gives it down to Williams. Williams' hook is nice off the glass.
Oh, you want to give somebody credit. Give Aaron Williams some credit for keeping his head in the game and not pouting the first couple games of this series where he didn't get much time. A lot of times you can sulk and pout. He didn't. When he was asked 2 minutes, 10 minutes, coach, I'm ready to play, go give you an effort. And now he's finding himself getting big minutes once again.
We're under final. What do you think about pouting about?
And here's a turnover by the Spurs, but Bowen steals it right back. Jackson, and he gives it back to Williams. Back-to-back-to-back turnovers. What a pass. That was stereo, wasn't it?
Stepping out of bounds.
And another back.
What vision. What a mind by Jason Kidd.
Turnover. A lot of it's defense. There's the block by Williams. 33-25. Nets still in command.
Universal Pictures is proud to introduce the world's newest secret agent.
Johnny English.
This summer, Bean meets Bond.
We can't afford any mistakes.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, sir.
Get out there and save your country.
Rowan Atkinson is Johnny English, rated PG, at theaters Friday, July 18th.
Trust me, Old Man Morgan's parties are epic.
Yeah, if we ever find it.
Duck. What?
It's a duck!
Nice pants, Rick.
The one and only Docker Stain Defender. What makes 5-star safety and 0% even better?
Zoom, zoom.
Test the best, the 2003 Mazda 6 at your Mazda dealer. It just received 5 stars, the highest rating in government funnel crash tests. Plus, just announced, for the first time ever, get 0.0% APR financing for 4 years on select 2003 Mazda 6 models. Test the best at your Mazda dealer now. This offer ends soon.
Hookers, nurses, and other cops. That's who we meet, that's who we marry.
Which of the three is your wife, sir?
Shut up.
10/8 Sundays this fall on ABC.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold down, easy.
Back in San Antonio, where the Nets lead 33-25. Part of the reason they do is the play of Aaron Williams off the bench tonight. Has 4 points in this quarter, but it's what he's done on both ends of the floor tonight. Pulling down rebounds, tipping in shots, blocking shots as well as he did on David Robinson there. And he's had a heck of a ball game and a heck of a series. And the story goes about Aaron Williams, the quietest guy without a doubt on the Nets team. When he arrives at training camp, he says hello. When the season's over, he says goodbye. He doesn't say too much in between. He played at Xavier. Skip Prosser was his coach. Skip is here tonight. And Aaron Williams having a good ball game and a good Father's Day. Dikembe Mutombo, his time cut down because Williams is playing so well right
Pretty
now.
good line of power forwards, too, at Xavier. You look at guys like Brian Grant, Tyrone Hill, Derek Strong. David West will be a first-round draft pick this year. And Aaron Williams, some pretty good power players coming out of Xavier.
Not forget that Aaron Williams' grandmother suffered a life-threatening stroke in the Detroit series in the Eastern Conference Finals. He had to miss some time.
Tim Duncan, chance for a three-point play. And speaking of quiet, that's about as much emotions you're going to see out of Tim Duncan. He knows his time is now to get his team in this ball game. Watch the reaction. That's about as much as you're going to see out of TD. That's the first shot he's taken this quarter, and he hammered it home, and he's got a chance to cut it to a 5-point ball game.
But on the hot seat with Stuart Scott in the pregame show, Tim Duncan was saying, that's not who I am. And I can only be who I am. I can't try to be what everybody else wants me to be. Zone defense one last time for San Antonio.
They've done a good job attacking this, not staying on the perimeter, being aggressive.
Zone defense again, and
just like
Kenyon Martin got it inside. Block shot by Duncan. But Collins is there. Duncan with his 4th block shot.
The NBA Finals record for one game is 8. Duncan halfway there, and we still got 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Who holds that record of 8?
Ewing, Olajuwon, and Shaq.
Good company.
And you.
And Bill Walton.
But it's a great job of penetrating.
But the most blocks for an entire series is 30 by Patrick Ewing. Tim Duncan already has 28 for a series. He'll shatter that record tonight.
No basket. Collins with the shot clock, and now Robinson jams one on Kenyon Martin. The other big guy gets involved defensively.
Well, the Spurs need Tony Parker to get involved offensively.
Whistle and a foul before David Robinson made his move to the hoop. So Robinson, this is block number 311 in his playoff career.
3rd all-time in the NBA playoffs, behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem Olajuwon. Remember, block shots were not kept until 1974.
There's his mom and dad, Ambrose and Frida. And on this Father's Day, they're looking on as proud of their son, I'm sure, as a basketball player, but as the human being he is and the things he's done in this city. Here's Duncan. Kick out to Bowen. Good three-point shooter. Got it! Bowen just got the crowd's attention. Six on the shot clock. Kittles will try to quiet him, and he does. That's the way you come back and get your first field goal. Gary Kittles knocks down a 3 and just sat everybody down.
That's called the suppressor.
Maybe Kittles can teach me that.
Being suppressed? I doubt it. Here's Duncan, stripped by Kenyon Martin.
Numbers.
Kidd, the dish to Kittles, and Jackson fouls him.
Quick hands by Kenyon Martin. Early on in this series, those were all being called fouls.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that makes Jason Kidd so special in the open court. And you're talking about defense. And what do you do off a turnover? It leads to something. But he waits, and then he makes that pass exactly when you're supposed to make that pass and put it exactly where that pass is supposed to be.
Gary Kittles, after hitting the 3, knocks down the free throw. And the lead goes back to 6 as Manu Ginobili will check in, and Stephen Jackson will come out for San Antonio.
But Jason Kidd is today's ultimate version of the freelance player in the fast break game.
And while the game is slowed down, while the game has become so much more structured in half court, you just really don't see that much anymore, which makes Tim Duncan's statistical accomplishments all the more impressive. With the lower scores, the fewer opportunities, to see him climb the ladder historically in the NBA Finals, absolutely remarkable.
Robinson on a drive, reverse layup. David Robinson.
All right.
He can still do some things, can't he?
Go right, finish with the left.
Jefferson trying to fight off Bowen. Kenyon Martin over Duncan. The rebound is Duncan. Again, tips it to himself. The outlet to Parker.
Things are changing.
Oh, Jefferson's had a tremendous first half. Not only scoring, but just being aggressive and being all over the place.
No movement away from the ball for the Spurs.
Duncan cross-courts it. Bowen gave up the three and worked for that jumper and missed it.
Duncan kept it alive.
Almost. Bowen goes up and over the radio crew on the far side.
That's not something you want to do at home.
2 minutes, 51 seconds left first half. The Admiral playing possibly his last game. Reverse layup, 38-32. Nets still hanging on to the lead.
Come on in, Derek. I thought we discussed this thing and had it all worked out. You're our starting shortstop. How can you possibly afford to spend 2 nights dancing, 2 nights eating out, and 3 nights just carousing with your friends? Oh.
If you want to enjoy the New York nightlife, bring your Visa card, because Orso, Cheetah, and the Broome Street Bar don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Can Jimmy play?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy?
Oops.
Can Jimmy come play?
Hi, Derek. Jimmy?
Can Jimmy play?
Jimmy?
Slot right, Texas. 22-on-2.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's my job.
Introducing a new level of performance from Acura. The all-new TSX.
I'm not leaving the unit, just like you.
You had a pizza delivered to the car?
Sir, we should at least pay it.
Shut up!
10/8 Sundays this fall on ABC.
Back here with you at the SBC Center, Mike Tirico, Sean Elliott, 38-32. It is a 6-point New Jersey lead. We have the Verizon Wireless halftime report coming up. Joel Siegel is going to join us from Good Morning America. We're going to look at some of the summer blockbuster movies, but we may have a Game 7 movie if the Spurs aren't careful. Nets are playing as well as they've played all series, Sean.
They really have. Right now, they're outscoring the Spurs in the paint 20-16, and that's not a surprise because they're mixing it up. Not only have they hit shots from the perimeter, but they're getting fast break buckets, and they're getting stuff off their secondary break.
I'm glad you're here, but I'm looking forward to Joel Siegel. No offense, but we'll see you at halftime for Verizon Wireless halftime report. Back down to Brad, Bill, and Tom. Guys.
All right, fellas, that's with 2:51 remaining in the second quarter as we check our Miller Lite storyline in this one here in San Antonio. Richard Jefferson may have not quite turned into the Hulk, but he's been pretty darn good tonight. 10 points, 20 in the paint for New Jersey. Tim Duncan, 3 points in the last several minutes. He's got to get more involved as he had 7 early.
I think things are changing, though. San Antonio starting to come alive.
Duncan blocks another shot.
He's going to set the record in the first half.
He's got 5.
But Jason Kidd, has not had a good second quarter. The Nets as a team have 13 points. That has been their Achilles heel, the New Jersey Nets, in this entire playoff series.
Jason Kidd's doing what he did the other night. Great first and third quarter and nothing in the second and in the fourth. He hasn't taken a shot in 12 minutes game clock wise.
Look at David Robinson's defense.
Jefferson trying to save it, goes halfway in the tunnel.
Greg Popovich trying to encourage Tony Parker, but it's just not there for him.
You know, it looks like the Nets have come out and said, we're going down, let's go down firing.
Yeah.
Let's just go down, we'll go out there, have fun, let's take some shots, see if we can make some shots, but let's not be hesitant.
That's why it's easier to play and coach as the underdog.
A foul inside as Bowen and Jefferson getting separated right now by Dan Crawford. And let's check in with Michelle.
Brad, in the last huddle, Greg Popovich asked Tim Duncan specifically to be more authoritative with his post moves. And on defense, guys, they are going to press a little bit more now, trying to change the tempo of this game. Back to you.
We'll take a look at that with 2:26 remaining. Popovich, the coach of the year. Byron Scott, who's done a remarkable job in the 3 years he's been with the Nets. There's the Jefferson-Bowen collision that led to the whistle, and Dan Crawford still talking to both of them, saying, okay, guys, now let's just play.
Good. You don't need to walk right across the lane.
You want to come up and bump guys. If you're going to win on the road, you've got to play like that. It's not dirty play. That's just good, tough physical basketball.
Ginobili driving inside and missed the hook. Kenyon Martin clears it to Kidd.
Make a layup, please.
Kittles hit the last one from there. That one's in and out.
That's perfect.
Fresh clock, though, for the Nets.
I guess you probably have to make it for it to be perfect, but I like that shot off the break.
Under 2 minutes now in the second quarter.
Nice double team, Robinson.
Kidd, he'll take a three. Duncan made a pass at him, or he might have hit it, and now it's Tony Parker, the rebound. Duncan's in front. He didn't see him in time. Now he got it to him off the glass, in and out. Duncan's second chance.
The Nets squandering golden opportunities.
38-34. Final 90 seconds of the second quarter.
Bowen and Jefferson are just having a nice little battle down there.
Kenyon Martin collides in an offensive foul against David Robinson. So Kenyon Martin driving inside. Robinson held his ground, and that's 2 on Kenyon.
Oh, and he gets the ball on that right wing. He loves that one bounce left and tries to get to the middle, and Robinson beat him to the spot.
And Byron Scott is quickly getting Kenyon Martin out of there so he doesn't pick up his third foul before the half.
So Williams comes in for Martin. Spurs down 4, a chance to cut further into the Nets lead that at one point was 10.
Nice pass.
Robinson from Duncan.
They play so well together on both ends. The interchange, the high-low, they come in the defensive end. One guy swipes low and blocks a shot.
Second time they've cut the lead to a deuce. We're under a minute. Kidd missed the jumper. Ginobili the rebound. Chance for the Spurs to tie or lead. Duncan in a low block for the tie. Got it! Tied for the first time tonight. Seven on the shot clock. Jefferson almost had it stripped. Kidd for 3. Big shot for Jason Kidd. Right back to 41-38 New Jersey. Final 15 seconds, first half. Parker, Bowen, Robinson, Duncan, and Ginobili on the floor for San Antonio. They'll try to tie it at halftime. Parker, he'll be the man. Nope, it's Bowen for the lead at the break. In and out. Had an open 3. That's his spot, but he missed it.
This is one of those games where you're better off being behind at the half, playing at home. You listen to your coach a lot more clearly in this circumstance.
Good first half, really, by both teams. And the Nets, who had the lead throughout the entire first half, but the Spurs did close out the half on a 17-10 push, which has been their MO throughout this series so far. So at halftime, New Jersey Nets on the road, leading 41-38 over the San Antonio Spurs. This is Game 6 of the NBA Finals. We turn it over to our halftime pregame. Game 6 of the NBA Finals on ABC Sports. Halftime 41-38. Let's check in with Stuart Scott.
Brad, on the X's and O's side, Byron Scott told his team, if we get a hand in their face on the jump shots and if we rebound, we'll be fine. On the emotional side, Richard Jefferson said it's all about being aggressive. Richard has a fat lip. One Nets official even told me, he said, quote, this ain't no game for punks, close quote. For reporter of the Spurs, let's go to Michelle DeFoya.
Told me they turned it over too much, got in a bind in the first quarter. He said guys are trying to make great plays instead of doing things the simple way within the system. He said, but we picked up our aggressiveness on defense in the second quarter and got things under control. Not the possession he wanted right there, Brad.
No doubt, a turnover and a Kerry Kittles layup on the other end. A great start for the Nets to open up the third quarter.
And that's the 11th turnover of the night for San Antonio. They're playing far too tight. Parker, Bowen, Ginobili, Rose have got to come alive.
The extra pass, Duncan to Robinson.
And Tim Duncan is working on a quadruple double.
Two things to look for in the second half. Can the Nets get more field goal attempts once again in the second half? And can they hold the turnovers to a minimum while forcing San Antonio into 10 more?
Kittles, fadeaway jumper on the baseline. Rebound is Duncan.
Boy, got to be able to hit those. Those are ones when you have open 15-footers. You got to find a way to be able to put those down, and usually he does.
Tony Parker's been a very quiet performer offensively tonight. Here's Duncan. The lead for Robinson again, and this time he's fouled by Collins.
This is about pace. The numbers are starting to swing seriously toward the Spurs. The ball movement, which killed them on the first play, which led to the turnover where Kerry Kittles converted in transition. The ability to draw three defenders and just lay it off with the left hand. What big man in the history of the NBA could ever do something like that? And virtually a carbon copy play. Robinson delivering, feeding off the creator, Tim Duncan.
Possibly playing his final game. If the Spurs win this game, it would be the end of David Robinson's brilliant career. He missed the second free throw, but he's had a good ball game. 9 points.
When I asked Greg Popovich about the fact that Robinson was right at the very end of the line here, that he didn't have to tell him anything special. Robinson knows it all. But Popovich gets the sense that David Robinson has been counting down the days himself.
And he gets the miss of Jefferson's.
Well, that was just a wild shot, but he's one of the guys, Richard Jefferson, that got him off early with his aggressiveness.
San Antonio's tied it once in the ball game. This for the lead. The rebound is Collins off the backside.
Will it get loud in here if they ever do take the lead?
I got a feeling it might. Here's Kenyon Martin facing Duncan. The hook, got it.
Well, that he makes that look easy. That's a tough shot. He's doing it very quickly.
But that's classic offensive theory. Fake one way, come back in the other, and get in the air and deliver.
Jackson will try another. This one he knocks down. Jackson with 8.
Putting up very good numbers, shooting a high percentage. Good decision making by and large. Would like to see him feed the post a little more.
Kidd looking to feed the post to Jefferson. Comes out to Kittles, who's wide open for 3, and he hit it. Kerry Kittles, his second three-pointer of the night.
Well, Bruce Bowen knew it, too. He slapped his hands together, and that's the one guy that you can't let get his feet set on the Nets, because he can square up and hit those shots.
Tony Parker out to Bowen for a triple. Duncan tried to get the rebound, but Kenyon Martin did. Jason Kidd on the break. And a collision, and he's fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Can't run underneath guys in a game of this magnitude. Jason Kidd comes up limping.
Oh, it's Bowman sees him, and great outlet pass right there. And yeah, he's in the circle, he's moving, he's sliding all over the place. And that's a dangerous play, but give the credit to Kenyon Martin on that one.
Jackson actually tried to catch him after the foul, and as Bill said, Kidd got up gingerly limping. And remember, he sprained that ankle in the Detroit series, and it's really never been 100% since.
Well, why do you even have that thought cross your mind? You're going to run underneath somebody and flop down. Be a defender. Either get in the air and try to make a play or let him go.
Jason Kidd got them both. The game is the Nets by 7.
Isn't this game kind of similar to last game in reverse, where every time the Spurs go within 2, it goes back to 7 or 8?
Kittles with a steal. And Tony Parker having a struggling night again, and we might see Speedy Claxton pretty quickly.
And that's the decision of the night for Greg Popovich. As Parker, this is not his finest hour at all. You're basically giving up the ball to the longer, leaner Kerry Kittle so quick. And this defensive adjustment by Byron Scott has paid huge dividends. Parker not having a strong game.
Kittles with 11 points now, and 6 quickly in this third quarter for Kerry.
Parker 1 for 2 shooting. Does have a couple of assists.
Kittle's got them both. 7-0 run for Byron Scott's Nets, and they lead 52-43 now. See if San Antonio can get something going offensively. You want to get it in number 21's hands, and he has it right now. Right back to Jackson, and he stepped on the baseline.
Duncan's passing. He's just watching the defenders all the time. He knows exactly what his offensive guys are going to do.
3 turnovers by the Spurs already in this third quarter.
The whole team. You like the body language from the New Jersey Nets. You like the way when they're open, they're firing shots, and defensively, Kenyon Martin. Now that foul's okay. If you're going to pick up a foul, be it a foul where you're battling, and you're battling for position, not trying to poke balls away. That's the one you'll live with. And he's just right here. I'm not going to let you get this position, fronting, 3-quarter inside. And that's a foul. That's okay. That's a physical, tough foul.
But he gives Duncan so many different looks, constantly bumping him and then stepping off.
Now it's Collins on Duncan. Kidd trying to help out. Robinson keeps it alive.
Robinson and Duncan, the only Spurs playing worth a darn.
Parker normally would have taken the shot from the outside. Instead, he tries to penetrate and misses.
Oh, what hand.
What a feed to Jefferson.
Oh.
And a chance for a 3-point play as he lays it in, and Ginobili got it.
From the days I first laid eyes on Richard Jefferson as a college freshman down in Tucson, Arizona, you could just marvel in awe at the athleticism, the natural talent, the ability to just run and jump faster and higher than anyone else. And now the polished game, the decision-making, the mid-range jumpers, the ability to handle the ball. In this series, you've seen the guy come to the fore with his physical play. Rod Thorne, the identification in the draft, the trade.
13 now for Jefferson as he completes the 3-point play. And it's troubled times for the San Antonio Spurs with 8:02 remaining in the third quarter. They had it down to a 2-point ball game, and all of a sudden, all Nets. Kidd, the no-look pass to Jefferson. Ginobili gets him. He caps off the 3-point play. And now it's New Jersey leading by 12.
If you're heading out there, I'll give you a tip. It's wild and it's far, and you're in for a trip. For just when you think it couldn't get rougher, the path goes crooked and the going gets tougher. But once you've traveled this far off the track, you won't settle for less. And there's no going back. The powerful Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Doesn't Miller Lite taste great? Less filling!
Wait. What about this? Doesn't Miller Lite taste great?
great taste. It's great taste.
Less filling.
Great taste.
Less filling. Less filling.
What do you think about that? That's art. Tell it over a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
I've got an idea.
Hell yeah.
Rated PG-13. Opens June 27.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
How are the kids?
Good. Growing like weeds. Come on, guys. Stay together.
I don't want to clean my room.
What a mess.
Just to learn to be a parent. And recite a swimming rule.
Are we there yet?
Thank you.
Guys, dinner.
I'll never grow up, never grow up, never grow up. Not me.
If they follow instructions,
I gave her a reassuring kiss goodbye.
will they find true love?
I want more.
Find out. The Dating Experiment premieres Wednesday, June 25th on ABC.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Miller Lite. Tell it over a great-tasting, less-filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert back in San Antonio. 55-43. I was going to ask you guys, can the Nets hold this lead? They've extended the lead. They're looking pretty good.
Brad, San Antonio is the shrine of last stands. They don't want the New Jersey Nets to be the shrine of lost causes here, because they have come out with such a determination and such a commitment to the team game with the pass that Jason Kidd does not even look at. Richard Jefferson, the incredible explosion of fast break points here. They have dominated previous opponents, Celtics and Pistons, on the fast break game. Not so with the Spurs, but tonight, a 9-0 run in this third quarter on the fast break has given a very comfortable lead to the Nets.
And Tom, somebody's got to come to the forefront now for the Spurs as a scorer.
Well, yeah, right now, Tony Parker, I think, has got to be a little more.
That wasn't what you were going to say.
No, Rice, that's a shot, a week ago, he rises up and he takes it. He comes off that and he rises up and takes it. And the turnovers, that was a story in game 2 when the Nets won in San Antonio. 21 turnovers, and right now they're on pace for more than that. Not a recipe for winning.
Kenyon Martin turns on the baseline. Robinson went up and helped Duncan get that rebound.
Tony Parker is trying to become the second youngest player in NBA history, playing on a winning title squad.
There's more about what we were talking about.
Magic Johnson being the youngest ever.
Your guy goes under the screen, you take that shot. It's that simple.
Only the second field goal for Parker. The lead is 10 for the Nets as we approach 7 minutes in the third quarter.
Nice dribble handoff by Collins.
Back out to Kenyon Martin. Tim Duncan snatches down the rebound, the outlet to Parker.
Who's running with him, though?
He'll try to do it himself, but he traveled.
Bob Delaney right on the call. Easy play to see.
15 turnovers, 5 this quarter. And when you got 19 field goals, 15 turnovers, that's not the kind of ratio you want on scoring against turnovers.
Well, when you're not a big running team, sometimes you don't get everybody to run with you. You should always run.
Kittles. I don't know if that was considered a shot attempt, but it's Duncan that knocked it out of there.
That's absolutely a block shot.
And then he's got 6 in my book for the night. So the inbounds will be Kenyon Martin. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Kenyon gets it into Jason Kidd. Parker up tight on him. Kidd gives it back to Martin with 1 on the clock. Missed the shot, and Robinson clears off the rebound.
Not really a three-point shooter, Kenyon Martin.
He's hit 1 in the course of the playoffs, but not that one. Parker spinning inside, and it's blocked by Collins. Here comes Kidd and Kittles. Kittles all the way.
What a great job by Kittles, shielding Duncan with the body and the ability to finish with the left hand. That was not an easy shot.
I thought the look back at Jason Kidd, the trail man, really froze Tim Duncan.
Again, it's a 12-point ball game. Duncan gives it up to Jackson. Ginobili had a 3 and gave it up.
A lot of hesitation for San Antonio
on everybody's part.
Again, showing their major weakness, the inability to play as the favorite.
Parker in trouble, in traffic. The follow in there by Robinson.
Double cram.
Well, just throw it up there in that situation. You got everybody lunging at the little point guard. Nobody staying at home to box out.
Charge. Richard Jefferson, excuse me, with the foul.
New Jersey is arguing that he was inside the arc. That rule does not apply in this situation here. He's outside the arc anyway.
Speedy Claxton in now as Tony Parker struggles continue. So Ginobili, Claxton, Jackson, Duncan, and Robinson on the floor for the Spurs. We approach the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. New Jersey leading by 10. Duncan trying to get it to Robinson and can't find the opening. Tim will take the outside shot and got it. Duncan's first basket of the quarter from the outside. He's got 16 points.
Well, you can't give him anything. You let him get a clean look. It's amazing. Somebody might want to come over and help him.
Jefferson, nice feed inside, blocked shot as Kenyon Martin went to the rack. And now Bob Delaney in the way of the pass intended for Jackson, and then the Spurs turn it over.
Delaney was trying to get out of the way. But that's just the breaks of the game for San Antonio. Crowd angry, antsy, nasty.
Hungry. But right now they're not getting fed. Their team trails 57-49. Jason Kidd makes it a 10-point game again. Kidd with a dozen.
So funny how, not just in basketball, but in sports in general, young players can gain and lose their confidence so quickly. It looked like Parker had it back in the beginning of the game, and right now, it looks like that's the furthest thing from the truth.
We're seeing New Jersey play some zone right here.
Ginobili misses the 3. Jefferson way up for the board. Kidd crossover, the leave underneath for Collins, but he missed the shot. Now Ginobili looking to run with Duncan. And he scores.
Again, the look back. Byron Scott checking to see if he's got timeouts left. Instead, he's coming with Dikembe Mutombo.
Robinson holding his ground. Offensive foul on Collins.
How quickly things turn. Louis Katz, the owner of the New Jersey Nets, up off his seat. Cannot believe the turn of events.
Robinson getting high-fived as he held his ground, took a charge for the second time tonight, and gives the ball back to his team, trailing by 8. Collins with 4 on the bench now. Mutombo in there, he'll guard Duncan. Not from out there, he won't. And Duncan got another.
We are looking at a flawless performance.
Flawless performer. (59-53). Nets by 6. You're watching the NBA Finals on ABC Sports Championship Television.
The new Impala SS. With one nasty supercharged engine.
Nothing can get you, nothing can touch me.
When you need the power, Or not. We'll be there. Chevy.
Win by 2.
Oh, yeah?
Wow. That is so cool.
Can he do it again?
Sure. Go get one, boy.
Okay, so where does he get him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Ooh, that's a first.
Make it a Bud Light.
Jimmy Kimmel Live has the most outrageous guest co-host. Monday, Perry Farrell of Jane's Addiction takes the hot seat. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Late Night Monday.
All this Dad ever wanted was someone he could teach how to play golf, someone to play poker with, and someone to follow in his footsteps. He got exactly what he wanted.
Try and circle around back. I'll take the house.
No, I think I should.
Don't argue with me, Dad.
Karen Cisco.
U.S. Marshal, get your hands up in the air.
Wednesdays this fall on ABC.
He's not done making memories yet. He's got a double-double tonight. He's got a huge stick-back jam in this quarter. As Tony Parker with a miss, watch David Robinson making sure. You don't think of Robinson and Duncan as Mr. Inside and Mr. Outside. You think it's two Mr. Insides. But in this game, Tim Duncan has also become Mr. Outside. From the top of the circle, that one brought the crowd up. And that's where we are right now, 59-53. And the Spurs know they don't want to let an opportunity slip away. They don't want to be backed into a 7th-game corner on Wednesday night. But the Nets have led the entire game, and the crowd has been up for the last 3 minutes. There's the numbers. Duncan and Robinson have 17 of the Spurs' last 23 points. Little over 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Mutombo.
A lot of standing around.
Kenyon Martin missed from the elbow, and Duncan's got another rebound. Both Duncan and Robinson with double-doubles, and in Tim's case, big-time double-doubles. And as Bill said, it might swell to triple-double or quadruple-double before the night's over. Claxton, outside. The Speedy got it.
Evan Willis, the first man up off the bench, leading the cheers, 40 years old. So close he can smell the title.
Duncan comes out on Kittles. Martin's open and finally does take it. Bad shot. Mutombo battles for the rebound, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, it would have been a good shot if he'd have just taken it. You don't hesitate and think about it. As soon as you think about it, you might as well forget about it.
That's outside his range, and they're backing off him, begging him to take it.
Jefferson with a huge first quarter, gives it up to Martin. And now almost stolen by Claxton. Kittles got a good look and knocked it home. Kerry Kittles is having a good night and a great third quarter. 11 of his 16 in this quarter.
But the set offense for New Jersey looks very ragged. Jason Kidd needs to settle this squad down.
Kittles another steal on Claxton, and then he's fouled.
Well, he's been getting it done on the offensive end and the defensive end.
He's really had those quick hands the whole series.
The decision by Byron Scott to come with Kerry Kittles on their point guard. The second time tonight. He stripped Parker earlier for an easy bucket, and now the strip and the foul.
Well, I think sometimes you feel like, hey, I don't have a point guard on me. I'm not going to have to worry about him stripping the ball away from me. Well, with him, you better pay attention.
Rodney Rogers will check in for the first time tonight. They have put 22 seconds on the shot clock. 1:49 remaining on the game clock in the third quarter. And Kenyon Martin comes out playing with only 3 fouls and had always picked up 4 fouls in every game pretty much by this point. So they don't want that burden either. Kittles running Ginobili ragged, but he had it kicked.
Well, that looked like it went off Kittles.
I thought it did too. Ginobili's trying to sell that case, but
Bob
The officials aren't going to hear any of it.
Very clear on the call.
11 seconds on the shot clock. Jason Kidd way outside.
That is a rebound.
Duncan, another rebound, is 14th.
Directing traffic.
Plays out there with the left-handed dribble.
Now let's see if he goes at Mutombo.
Oh, no, not between the legs.
Off the glass and in and out, and Rose keeps it alive. Fresh shot clock. And Claxton looks over to Greg Popovich.
Run a lot of time off this. Let this crowd feed you.
Duncan outside. Not this one. And the rebound is Mutombo's tipped over by Kittles.
Well, he's hit a couple of those, but tell you what, if I'm New Jersey, I like seeing him out 19 feet away from the bucket.
Whistle.
3-second violation
on the Nets. That's their 10th turnover. Byron Scott, who's tasted the championship 3 times as a player in his 14-year career, spent mostly with the Lakers. Now in his second finals in back-to-back years. Swept last year. Very much in this one and leading this one throughout the game, trying to force a Game 7. You saw Steve Kerr check in, the great three-point shooter. They may go to him before the quarter's over. 6-point ball game. Duncan says, Kerr, when you get it, you got to shoot it. But he won't there. Ginobili will. And knocked out of bounds. And a foul on Duncan.
Ginobili got hammered on that shot. Just the whole side of his body was just bumped.
Tune in to NBA TV following each finals game. You get complete live post-game coverage, including press conferences, interviews, and analysis. Place to turn for around-the-clock coverage of the finals is NBA TV.
Well, the Nets have really done a fantastic job tonight of closing out on shooters. They're not letting them get their feet set and get open looks. They're flying out at them, making them put the ball on the ground, and a lot of times they're forcing turnovers because of it.
But the adjustments that Byron Scott talked about before the game. Kittles on the Spurs point guard. He's been fantastic. Their guards have not done the job. Zone offense, they haven't needed to do anything there because the Spurs inexplicably have not used the zone, and then close out and be selective at who you run at.
Hitting their free throws, 11 for 11 are the Nets. And Mutombo's 2 stretched the lead back to 63-55.
Oh, that's a foul.
Ginobili trying to get around Jefferson, and Jefferson picks up his 3rd.
You can't just grab a guy.
But an emerging star, Richard Jefferson. Just getting started in his 2nd year. Both years in the finals. What's going to slow this guy down? Nothing.
Ginobili inbounds to Kerr. Nets have a foul to give with 10 seconds on the shot clock. They don't have a foul to give. They just used it. That's right. Claxton. And he's bumped by Rodgers.
Well, they gave one anyway.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes when you're as big as Rodney Rodgers is, Claxton just runs into you, and you can't help but fall backwards if you weigh about 100 pounds less.
Claxton at the free throw line and got it. Speedy Claxton with 7. Tiger Woods has won an amazing 37 tournaments on the PGA Tour. He's never finished better than 16th at the Buick Classic. He'll be challenged again this year. The field of the PGA Tour's best. ABC's coverage of the Buick Classic begins Saturday, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC Sports.
I know Greg Popovich does not like to play zone defense, but the fact that they've used it so sparingly tonight begs the question, because it has been so effective in giving the Spurs this great advantage here.
Jason Kidd 7 times during the playoffs has hit a basket with 3 seconds or less left in a quarter. Just about got one there off the front of the iron. 0.4 remaining to end the 3rd.
On the run here for the little guy, Speedy.
Ginobili just shot puts that baby down, and it's picked off by Jefferson and Mutombo. So the Nets have led wire to wire so far, but we got 12 more minutes of wire to go. The Nets on the road trying to force a Game 7. Richard Jefferson and company hoping they can do that on Wednesday night. This ABC Sports presentation of the NBA will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
supercharged engine. When you need the power,
What?
or not, we'll be there. Chevy.
Yeah, it'll be good to see everyone. But let's stay someplace cool this year. Mom and Dad need to live a little... modern. Call you right back.
Lots of photos and everything else you need to choose the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com. If you think it's hot outside, wait until these cops turn on the heat.
He's trying to charm. He's got women issues.
You seem like a good catch.
Not talking.
NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday.
8 out of 9 Toyota cars get over 30 miles per gallon. So what does that mean to you?
I'm going to Omaha.
A road trip to New Hampshire.
Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix.
I'm going to drive to Alvin's Ranch in Montana.
Cleveland.
With so many fuel-efficient cars, like the Prius Hybrid, you can drive anywhere in a Toyota. One more thought, don't forget the map.
No maps.
Value begins with Toyota quality.
Introducing a new level of performance from Acura. The all-new TSX.
Need a lawyer? Call the People's Choice. Cohen, Snyder, Eisenberg, and Katzenberg.
Set to start the fourth quarter in San Antonio. Remember about an hour and a half ago I said it was the Nets gut check time. They've showed they've got guts hooked onto Hart. They want it to go to 7. They want to make history. Win 6 and 7 on the road and win a title. Can the Spurs close out? They've had trouble with that throughout the playoffs, throughout their history really. Kerry Kittles had a huge quarter, 11 of his 16 in that third. He's given the Nets the chance they wanted. 63-57, boys. Here we go.
12 minutes to determine your fate, your place in history. For the Spurs, so few players playing well. Duncan and Robertson literally by themselves out there. Ginobili, Rose not getting it done. 26 points combined in Game 5. Very few tonight.
Kidd with 10 on the shot clock. Around Duncan, who lunged at him. Off the glass, Jason Kidd.
That was like the game winner in Game 2.
Reminiscent, going left or going right. Runner. Who's going to help Tim Duncan? Who's going to get some points?
Spurs haven't had a field goal in over 3 minutes. Ginobili will try a 3. In and out. Duncan, the board. Didn't get the score, though. Nets with a rebound. Here comes Kidd.
Can Rodney Rogers deliver for Byron Scott?
Jason Kidd will try another off the glass. Back-to-back baskets for Jason Kidd. 67-57, leads 10 again. Ginobili inside, pushed.
Well, that's the one you just have to let go. But look at Jason Kidd right here. Strong run. Oh, man.
And then he comes right back and hits the classic jumper off the board. But everything for San Antonio is just an absolute labor right now.
Steve Kerr. Here comes Mr. Fourth Quarter. That got the crowd's attention. 67-59.
Well, if you're New Jersey, you better recognize that, too.
Kidd will try 3 in a row. Tipped in by Mutombo. Dikembe's first field goal is a big one.
But Byron Scott just using his entire bench here. He's 3 centers. Rodney Rogers didn't play in the first half. He's come on, played solid. Lucius Harris now in their critical juncture.
Claxton gets it to Duncan, who faces Mutombo. Duncan scores inside.
Big guys aren't supposed to cross over like that.
What a master. What a talent.
20 for the MVP.
Everything right. Turning and facing against a bigger player.
Oh, Ginobili with a steal. He picked Jefferson's pocket and stuffed it.
Byron Scott's trying to call a timeout here, but they can't even hear him.
We can barely hear each other. It's down to 6. Tim Duncan, Mr. Everything. Watch the move and the crossover on Mutombo. That gave him his 20th point. Maybe more important, though, Ginobili showing those quick hands. Swipes it from Jefferson. Takes it for the flush. And it's 69-63 with 9:44 to go.
We never did this in Charlotte.
Sure did.
Did you bring everything? Very good. Well. You're going to practice. I don't think we need to.
Taco Bell's new chicken enchilada bowl. Grilled all-white meat chicken, seasoned rice and beans, a traditional slow-simmered sauce, and 3 cheeses, all melting together. To experience enchilada nirvana, you've got to think outside the bun.
This Friday, a comic book legend comes to life as visionary director Ang Lee takes blockbuster filmmaking into a brave new world. The Hulk, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
My car makes me feel like the road is my playground.
The Camry SE.
We need your team to check out something that came in hot this morning.
They have many enemies.
Somebody else got through.
And only one mission.
Now you know the drill. You get the information, and you get back here.
To keep us safe. ABC presents a powerful new drama.
It's like somebody wanted to blow up a school. They're terrorists, sent by terrorists.
We're running out of time.
You are out of time.
Red Matrix, Thursdays this fall on ABC.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
Almost 19,000 have stood throughout the timeout again at the SBC Center. He has been an intimidator. Tim Duncan on the night with 15 rebounds to go with his 20 points and 7 assists and 5 block shots. David Robinson has a double-double as well. Will the ship come in the last 9:44, or will we sail one more night on Wednesday?
Tim Duncan trying to become the 8th multiple winner of the Finals MVP award. 9.5 minutes to go.
Pass. Ran into some traffic. Last touch by the Spurs.
Well, if you would have told me, Game 6, championship on the line, 9.5 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter, and these are the 10 players that we'd see out on the court a week ago, I would have said, whatever.
Popovich has got his work cut out for him if he's going to close this out.
Jefferson hangs in the air, missed the baseline jumper. Duncan's got rebound number 16.
Great job by Steve Kerr boxing out.
Claxton in traffic. Ginobili trying to give it back to Malik Rose, and Rose lost it.
You got to find Steve Kerr. That's what he's out there for.
Well, they've been able to make this push. They've been able to make the push to get it down to 6, get it down to 4, but they haven't been able to make that big push to take the lead.
Nets working around the perimeter. Lucius Harris. He misses a 3. Jason Kidd trying to keep it alive and does. And goes right back to Rogers in the baseline. And Rogers hits it. A 3 for Rodney Rogers.
Popovich coming back with David Robinson in the next dead ball.
Rose working on the baseline. And he's fouled.
Popovich has got 4 reserves on the court right now surrounding Tim Duncan.
Kidd hustling to keep it alive and immediately has his head on a swivel and goes to Rogers, who's open in the corner.
Those are killers. When you play good defense, you get a stop, and then you give up an offensive rebound, and then they drill a 3 on you.
Total momentum killer. But at the free throw lines, Malik Rose, who hit a technical free throw shot earlier and hits for only his 2nd point of the night.
It was Rodney Rogers' big 3 at the end of one of the early games in the Milwaukee series that enabled the Nets to move on. They appeared dead in the water. Rodney Rogers missed 2 free throws. The ball came right back to him on the scramble.
Slowly, both teams bringing starters back in. Kenyon Martin has just checked back in. David Robinson is waiting at the scorer's table.
The biggest decision of the night for Popovich is going to be Parker or Claxton.
Malik Rose hit both free throws. 72-65. The Nets lead by 7. We've got 8:35 left in Game 6.
Rogers should be able to punish Jackson.
Backing him in. Up and under, blocked by Duncan.
Of course, Duncan knew that too, so he was waiting for that.
Let's see if that stop turns into points for the Spurs. Claxton saw a seam. Ginobili, wide open 3. Duncan tried to go back up with it. And here's Jason Kidd again on the run.
But what anticipation by Tim Duncan on the offensive glass.
Kidd, baseline jumper won't go. Duncan cleans it off again. Duncan's got 17 rebounds. But his team is trailing with under 8 minutes to play.
You've got to let Duncan isolate against Mutombo here. Nice.
Rose is all alone. They came over to help out. And Duncan, the assist man, finds Rose.
And Dikembe is just irate with Rodney Rogers saying, look, let me play him.
8th assist for Duncan. Kenyon Martin straight away. Too strong. Back of the iron. Jackson the board.
A 3 for 18. He just hasn't been able to buy a bucket tonight.
Trying to slice into a 5-point lead of the San Antonio Spurs. Ginobili, Jackson, a triple. Got it! The Spurs hadn't hit a 3-pointer all night. It started with defense. Duncan found Malik Rose for the easy one underneath. And then after going over from outside the arc, Jackson way out, buries it. 2-point game. 7 minutes and change. Don't go anywhere. The Nets have led all night. The Spurs have cut it to 2.
He's back.
It's okay, everybody. He's outside.
For the great taste that will fill you up and never let you down.
For you? Hello.
Make it a Bud Light.
8 out of 9 Toyota cars get over 30 miles per gallon. So what does that mean to you?
I'm going to Omaha.
A road trip to New Hampshire. Los Angeles,
Phoenix.
San Diego, Phoenix.
I'm going to drive to Alvin's Ranch in Montana.
Cleveland.
With so many fuel-efficient cars, like the Prius Hybrid, you can drive anywhere in a Toyota. One more thought, don't forget the map.
No maps.
Value begins with Toyota quality.
We're going in.
We ride together, we die together.
You all right, man?
Bullets. No.
All that was for nothing.
Wait, hold up. We did some of it.
Well, I was at a family barbecue.
Rated R. In theaters July 18th.
Tuesday, theirs is a passion gone wild.
You look great. You gotta shave your legs, but,
According to Jim at 9/8 Central, ABC Tuesday.
The NBA Finals on ABC, brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. And Toyota. Get the feeling.
To go out this way, it just kind of caps off everything that's happened in my career.
For me, Dave showed me definitely how to be a professional and how to not let basketball affect my life.
He's been a great friend. He was always there for me. He's like a big brother. It's time. I've known all year long. I've been at peace with it. I think I've just enjoyed everything a little bit more. David Robinson, San Antonio Spurs.
Who's got 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 block shots, has helped his Spurs to a 7-0 run in the last minute and a half. Everybody thanking number 50. This whole city's Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. Trust me, if he's not an MVP, he's an MAP, the most admired person in San Antonio. Mom's looking on. Frida. Dad Ambrose is here. And 7 minutes left. It's a 2-point game.
Well, that's what it's going to come down to. Can they score in the half court? Since that 9-0 spurt of fast break points, they've only had 2 more fast break points since then.
Rogers packs it back inside of Martin. Blocked by Duncan. That's his 31st block shot of this series. That's a new record.
7th of the game tonight for Duncan. You cannot just go right into his face and throw up weak stuff.
Duncan gives it up. Jackson for the first lead. Got it! Jason Kidd tries to quiet the crowd, but it's Duncan with another rebound. Spurs lead for the first time, 73-72. Duncan in traffic.
What a pass.
Robinson over Mutombo. Peter Holt looking on as San Antonio leads by 3.
Where are Kittles and Jefferson for New Jersey?
Harris a runner. He's bumped. The foul will be on Ginobili.
The Nets need offense. The 31st block by Tim Duncan. That kind of execution will not get it done by Kenyon Martin. That led to a beautiful arcing three-pointer for the first lead of the night. David Robinson extends that with his relentless work on the offensive glass. Spurs in control, and the missed free throws haunting New Jersey.
First missed free throw tonight is Harris. There's the NBA Finals record that betters Patrick Ewing in '94. Patrick had 30 block shots, but that was in 7 games. This is game 6, and it's getting a little loud in here. He missed them both.
Well, if they score here, they may want to think about a timeout, because as I like to say right now, San Antonio is in full arousal mode.
And they have aroused the crowd with a 12-0 run. Claxton outside. He got it.
Byron Scott definitely in need of a timeout. It's all falling apart for the Nets.
The Spurs can almost smell it. Speedy Claxton in for the ineffective Tony Parker. His biggest shot of the night. 5:21 left. San Antonio now leads by 5.
We build it to withstand earthquakes, the elements, anything you can imagine.
At Toyota, we build to withstand the things you can't imagine.
The Tundra was given the highest overall safety rating for full-size pickups by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The Toyota Tundra, better from the ground up.
And now it's all Holyfield. Ooh,
You know, for $1 million, I would totally go around with Holyfield. What? What? How bad could it be?
That's all you got?
Tell it over a great-tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Look at this. The ring girl likes me.
I got CJ. We win by 2.
If you think it's hot outside, wait until these cops turn on the heat.
Put on the charm. He's got women issues.
You seem like a good catch.
Not talking.
NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday.
The NBA has always understood the importance of reading.
So have any of you read this book?
That's why the Read to Achieve program continues to grow and reach children all over the country.
Before his eyes, they grew in size and made a boastful claim.
I'll turn you into lime jelly.
From online literacy to books big and small, our goal remains the same. Help a child develop a lifelong love of reading. Help them read to achieve.
Lucius Harris, who had hit 15 of 17 free throws in this championship finals, is stunned that he missed his last 2. Let's check in with Michelle DeFoy.
Well, Brad, the Spurs have left Speedy Claxton in at point guard because they asked him to embrace the challenge of defending Jason Kidd, forcing Kidd to take tough, skilled jump shots, and he responded. Obviously, his confidence has grown on the offensive end, too, Brad. He is staying in this game that Tony Parker started, Brad.
Second time Speedy Claxton's had 10 or more points in the finals, 14 straight in the last 3 and change by the Spurs, and they grasped the lead 77-72. Kenyon Martin didn't get it. Ginobili did.
Where is the competitive response from the New Jersey Nets? The ability to score in the set offense. Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson. That's where the responsibility lies.
They've come up empty on their last 7 trips, have the Nets offensively. Now it's Duncan backing in. The kick out. Jackson's hit 2 big threes. He's hit 3.
You would think that they would stay at home on him and leave Claxton or Ginobili open.
Aaron Williams trying an outside shot. Jefferson went up high to try to keep it alive.
Speedy is everywhere.
Wouldn't it be ironic in a series, and you see Jackson right there with another triple in the 4th quarter that's been marred by bad shooting, low-scoring quarters, that right now, if the Spurs win this game, it may be because of a monster offensive explosion in the fourth quarter?
I didn't think you'd ever say that in this series.
By Steven Jackson, who was cut by the New Jersey Nets.
Gary Kittle's trying to answer. Robinson pulls it down. That's right. Byron Scott said that he didn't think Steven Jackson gave enough effort in staying in shape to try to improve himself. He scored over 8 points a game the year he was with the Nets and about 3 rebounds a game. He might come back and haunt them big time.
That ball was blocked by Tim Duncan, which would give him 8 for the game.
Jackson missed that one. Robinson is pushed on the baseline. If that is a block shot by Duncan, check out the numbers, fellas. 20 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists, and 8 block shots if they've added that other one. It's a triple-double, we know. They're soon to make it an 8th block.
They call that the old stat stuffer supreme right there.
You call that the MVP. Speedy Claxton, 10 on the shot clock. We're under 4 minutes. Claxton trying to weave through traffic. Robinson finds the handle. Claxton before the shot clock. The Spurs lead by 10.
It's like team morphine. They are feeling no pain right now.
Problem for New Jersey, they're seriously out of timeouts.
Jason Kidd ends a 19-0 run by San Antonio.
New Jersey only has 1 20-second timeout left.
They used 3 of them in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. That's why they're short.
And now Greg Popovich will take a timeout. They'll talk things over.
3 minutes, 8 seconds to a championship for San Antonio. The little guy, Speedy Claxton. How about his night? Michelle said his defense is helping his confidence on offense. Speedy Claxton has 12 points. It's 82-74 San Antonio.
What if everything you've been forced to keep inside was suddenly set free? My God.
They out there with the fun out there. We gonna hit out there with nothing to fear. Tear up a spot, get hot to make it rock. Always start here with the clear. Yo, number 1, you gotta get with your real ones. 2, what you do is pop a couple of clear ones. Number 3, call up a breezy. 4, on the floor, maintain the high score. 5, feeling alive, we jump into the ride, which brings us to 6 at the venue in the mix. They out there with the fun out there, make it last out there. Always start with the clear.
So how's it coming?
Good. This one looks pretty exotic.
Cool.
Mosquito nets. What was that? Maybe not that exotic.
Great. Everything you need to choose the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com.
How you doing? Good, man. How you doing? Give me a couple of those tickets. All right, good luck. I need some. It's 3 in a row. See about this one. 4th one's tough, huh? It sure is. Thank you.
Ready for a fiesta at the Rockin' SBC Center. San Antone +8, 308 from a second championship in franchise history. Sean Elliott, that 19-0 run, was it San Antonio's defense that did it?
No, it was their offense. Really blindsided the New Jersey Nets. They came down and they basically panicked on the offensive end. It was one pass, up with the shot, instead of moving the ball around.
Tim Duncan's triple-double, the 26th in the history of the finals, 14th different guy, first since Charles Barkley 10 years ago. Matt courtside to Brad.
Thanks, fellas. Our Toyota game track with 3:08 remaining looks like this. New Jersey, Jason Kidd, 18.7 assists. Duncan has done it all. A 19-2 run. The Spurs bench has been huge in this quarter with 12 points. And we're down to 3 minutes to a possible NBA championship. A second in 4 years for San Antonio if they can hold on to the lead. This time it's stripped, though. Jason Kidd, the outlet to Kerry Kittles.
Ginobili, great transition defense.
Kenyon Martin. Rebound is Duncan.
Well, the one thing with the Spurs you got to avoid, missed free throws, and most importantly, turnovers. You can't turn the ball over. That's the way to get New Jersey back in the game.
Duncan now with 19 boards.
More importantly for San Antonio, they can't get conservative. This game's got a ton of time left.
Vote for the NBA Finals MVP, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Gee, who might that be?
Just thinking the same thing. Ginobili, the crowd catching its breath momentarily. Claxton. Speedy doesn't get this one, and Kenyon Martin the rebound. Jason Kidd knows time is running out. Goes by Ginobili. Kittles for 3. In and out. Robinson the rebound.
Robinson just so good. Really the anchor of the defense.
The anchor of this team over 14 years. The Spurs are close. David Robinson, who has done it all in his career, the Rookie of the Year in 90, the Defensive Player of the Year in 92, the MVP of the whole league in 95, a couple of gold medals, and a fairly golden performance. If this is his swan song, he's one hell of a swan.
Fitting, isn't it? That a superstar like this, great ambassador for the league, for San Antonio, if they win the championship tonight, doesn't just finish out with meek numbers, comes with a double-double.
Missed the free throws, maybe a little tired, and that leaves it open for the Nets. Jason Kidd for 3. They have to have that one. It didn't go. It was halfway down. Duncan the rebound. His 20th.
He had a 20-rebound plus performance in game 1. Now saving his best for the end once again, what the MVP's all about.
145 for San Antonio. They lead 82-74. Duncan over Martin. Kenyon Martin with a rebound.
You got to push, and first good shot you see, you got to take it.
A steal by Jackson.
They called him out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Boy, has he played a whale of a fourth quarter. He's hit 3 3-pointers, Jackson. And look at the numbers. Holy mackerel. See if they're resetting the shot clock, I think, is what the discussion's about.
The question is whether he had possession of the ball before he stepped out of bounds. They're saying no, so that will not be
down to 12.
A full reset of the shot clock.
So they only get half of it back. Ginobili on Kittles, trying to set a screen for Kittles, and a foul. Steven Jackson. Well, it's fitting. That's his 3rd foul in a fourth quarter that's seen him hit 3 threes. Nets need points. They need them fast.
Ooh, great screen, Williams.
Jefferson, he's going to try a 3. Robinson has the rebound.
You might want to think about fouling.
They're trying to.
And they finally get Speedy Claxton, does Jefferson. 1 minute, 11 seconds. An 8-point lead. Look what's in the house. That might be coming out on the court in 71 seconds. Not over yet. Speedy Claxton has been sensational. At the free throw line, Speedy with 12 points in this ball game in relief duty. Make it 13. And they're getting some bubbly ready as well. Everything's covered.
What is that?
Apple cider, Bill. Hot apple cider. Good for you.
With some cinnamon?
No.
Missing the second. 83-74. We're down to just over a minute. Jason Kidd. Big shot for Jason Kidd, a three-pointer.
Move the ball if you're San Antonio. Don't wait for
it to get foul.
Under a minute. And Kidd gets Duncan.
And you don't have time to really wait and pick and choose. It worked out well for him. But you got to try to stretch this game out as long as possible.
Tim Duncan came in 10 games in the finals between 99 and tonight, averaging 26 points and 15 rebounds. He's been even better than that tonight. Maybe not with the points, but with everything else. Look at Steve Smith and Kevin Willis. How long have they waited? A long, long time.
And that's the last timeout for the New Jersey Nets, a 20.
55.6. The Spurs are that close.
I have spent a weekend in Vegas without a hotel room.
I have driven 150 miles
for 3 rolled tacos.
I've given a toast at a wedding
that I wasn't even invited to. I have French kissed a French woman. I have called shotgun 11 hours before a road trip.
I've eaten condiments as a meal.
I have dated Carmen Electra's cousin's friend's sister.
Some of the elder statesmen who don't have a title to show for their career. Steve Smith hasn't played, but he's been an integral part of this team, not only this year, but last. Danny Ferry, his dad, part of 5 championship teams, would be the first Duke player to win an NBA championship. And then Kevin Willis, first finals after 1,342 games, making him the oldest guy to make his finals debut, and he's thinking about a ring. Jason Kidd had to take the shot. The foul will be on Kittles with 51 seconds left.
And of all the guys for San Antonio, as they celebrate their second championship in 5 years, I'm happiest for Kevin Willis. The guy who has come so far, who came into this league out of Michigan State 19 years ago. And now a chance to be part of something so very special.
Steve Smith, who's done so much for Michigan State also in his 12th year, and Danny Ferry in his 13th as Ginobili hits the free throw. Ginobili got them both. 86-77. 9-point lead. Martin will take a 3. The rebound whistled out of bounds. It'll be to the Nets with 41.8 left.
Well, at this point, there could be no discriminating. If you happen to be the player that's wide open for a 3, whether you're a 3-point shooter or not, it's time to go.
Kenyon Martin takes another jumper. Ginobili with the rebound. And Jason Kidd will foul Ginobili. And now the end is near. Jason Kidd, is this the last game we'll see him in that uniform? Everybody's starting to celebrate. Kevin Willis is about to check in. And this place will light up again. Look at the smile on his face, and here comes Steve Smith. The Admiral fighting the final wave. About to come to shore with his second crown. Points and 17 rebounds for David Robinson. Tim Duncan coming out. I wonder who your MVP is. Ginobili calmly hits the free throw.
How about Kevin Willis? He means business. He came in with 35 seconds left and still put his elbow pads on.
There is no greater feeling than the San Antonio Spurs are feeling right now. It's what you live for.
An 11-point lead. Johnson, the miss. Kevin Willis had his hands on the rebound, but Ginobili pulls it down. We're down to the final 20 seconds. San Antonio, a lot of people talked about their 99 title having an asterisk next to it. The 2003 title's about to have an exclamation point next to it. The San Antonio Spurs are your world champions. There's no greater joy than being a father when your father can watch you and your 3 kids can look on and your career comes to a close with a championship on Father's Day. It don't get much better than that. Believed at the beginning of the season that San Antonio would be in this situation. Many thought they were a couple more years away. But with the old veterans and the young crew combined, and those 2 guys, anything was possible, and they proved it tonight. Two old Spartans get to taste a championship. Twice to the finals, twice proving to be the most valuable player. Greg Popovich, the coach of the year, and now for the second time, the coach of a champion. Let's go to Michelle Tafoya.
All right, I'm with David Robinson. How would you put this moment into words, David?
How do you put this moment? To finish my career in the NBA Finals and win the championship, that's a plan only written by God. I just praise him. Today is an incredible day for me. I'm just blessed.
Your father told me before the game that he was waiting on his Father's Day gift. This is what he wanted. How aware were you of that?
Oh, man, I wish I could give him a lot more than this. He deserves it more than this, but this is the best I got right now.
There were twice in this game you trailed by double digits.
Yeah.
What was this team talking about, and how did it overcome that to get this victory?
Well, we talked about just grinding it out. You know, we're the type of team you have to keep playing, and I was just trying to give us whatever energy we could, and everybody just hung in there. Man, it was awesome, and then finally we got some shots to go in the 4th quarter, and that was I turned it around.
I can't imagine anything like this, David, and you have so many players, opponents on the other team who respect you. What did Dikembe Mutombo say to you at the end here?
Well, a couple of those guys, especially the young guys, they said, you know, they really, as youngsters, they watched me, and I was one of their favorite players. And besides making me feel old, it makes me feel great.
How ready are you to take this in and then walk away?
I'm ready. I mean, how can you walk away any better than this? I just praise the Lord. This is awesome.
Guys.
4 series, all won in 6 games, 4 games to 2 by your NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. Peter Holt, chairman and CEO, a happy man. He and his wife, Juliana, here courtside. Greg Popovich, hugging Manu Ginobili, sometimes saying, I have no idea what he's going to do on the court, but he did well on the court tonight. Speedy Claxton was sensational. The ceremony for the NBA championship trophy. Let's go to the PA announcer, Stan Kelly.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the presentation of the NBA championship and most valuable player trophies, please welcome ABC's Mike Tirico.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to honor the 2003 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. With us here at center court, the chairman of the Spurs, Mr. Peter Holt, his wife Juliana, the co-captains Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Somewhere up here is head coach Greg Popovich. Pop, come on up. Here for the presentation, the commissioner of the NBA, Mr. David Stern.
It was a great series. Congratulations to a worthy opponent, the New Jersey Nets. And what a year for San Antonio. One of the greats we get a chance to say goodbye to tonight, David Robinson, thank you. To a team that had the best record in the league, that had the coach of the year, the repeat MVP, and now this. Congratulations to Peter and Juliana, to the entire Spurs organization, and to this great city of San Antonio for your 2003 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs.
Mr. Holt, not a bad way to open up a new building.
Oh, what a great way. Thank you to our great fans. What a fantastic year we've had.
Congratulations. Thank you. Where's Greg Popovich, the head coach? Greg, come on up here. Typical Greg Popovich, letting the players enjoy the moment. You are one of very few men, just a dozen, to have won 2 NBA championships as a head coach. Is this one any more satisfying than the one in '99?
Each one is wonderful in its own way, and neither one of them would have happened except for one thing. We got the greatest guys in the world.
Congratulations, Pop. Time now to bring the commissioner back up for the presentation of the most valuable player.
What can I say? He led his team in points, in rebounds, in blocks, and assists for this entire series. Your 2-time consecutive NBA MVP is the most valuable player of the 2003 NBA Finals. Congratulations, Tim Duncan.
Tim, not only do you go out this season with the regular season and the finals MVP, you become the first man in 10 years to have a triple-double in the NBA Finals in a single game. Was tonight any tougher than any of the other games along the way in this series?
Absolutely, it was. Those guys didn't want to go home. They didn't want to give up, but our team stuck with it. Our guys were incredible tonight. We played the whole way through. Just a lot of credit to our guys.
Same thing I asked Pop. Is this one any sweeter than '99?
It is, because it's now.
A word about your running mate, the other 7-footer, David Robinson, as he says goodbye.
Yeah, I hate to see him go. We're going to try to talk him into coming back another year, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Congratulations, Tim Duncan. Does anybody want to hear from David Robinson? Where are you, David? David Robinson, a champion on Father's Day on your way out, your dad, your kids here. You couldn't write a better script. What words to the fans in San Antonio and those watching around the world as you say goodbye to the NBA as a player?
Everybody here in San Antonio especially knows what I'm going to say. Man, I just praise the Lord because he carried us through this year. He gave us a solid foundation. And I'll tell you what, I will give Peter Holt, Greg Popovich, RC, credit for bringing in some fantastic guys. We played together. We won this thing together. Man, I love these guys. It's awesome.
Tim Duncan, David Robinson, the 2003 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. Once again, Brad Nessler.
All right, thank you, Mike. So the celebration at SBC Center, 19,000 strong. I can tell you already that down at Riverwalk, it's getting a little bit crazy. This is the paper that's already out with your MVP on the front. Just one word, Tim Duncan glory. While they say he might not be emotional, there might not always be smoke coming out of the stack, but there's a fire in the hole. And with every winner, unfortunately, there has to be a losing team. Stuart Scott caught up with Jason Kidd a few moments ago.
Jason, tough loss, your second straight loss in the NBA Finals. I just saw you hug Tim Duncan. What did you say to him?
We're the best on the planet. You know, he gave everything he had, and that's why he's the best player. Congratulations. And so it's well deserved for the Spurs. We gave everything we had, and unfortunately we came up short.
Which one feels better, if you can say that, last year or this year?
Well, for us to get back here is an accomplishment in its own, and so for us to come up short again, they both hurt, and anytime you lose, you don't want to lose, so hopefully we can get back here and try to win another one.
What's going through your mind when they're going through that 19-0 run?
Try to stop it, get a basket, and also get them. The basket got big for them, and they made it.
I know you haven't thought much about it, but when do you think you might make a decision about your future?
It's going to be a while. I got a lot to think about.
Can you say definitely that you will be a Net next year?
I can't. The door's open, and I got to play my free agency out, and I would love to, be a Net, but I got to, look at all my options.
Jason, I appreciate it. Gutsy series, man.
Thank you.
Let's go back to you.
That's not an easy situation to be in, obviously, because for the second year in a row, Jason Kidd and the New Jersey Nets got to the finals, but that's all the farther they could get. They proved, fellas, that they belong this year, and through 3 quarters and change, they had the Spurs on the ropes. They just couldn't keep them there.
I just want to say to the fan, what a joy it was to be here and watch these great guys, Jason Kidd, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, compete. And once again, as a fan, I know Jason Kidd's going to do what's best for him and his family, but I would love to see him stay in New Jersey and build a relationship with Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson, get a couple more pieces in there, and I tell you what, they're not that far off.
What a great day for basketball, though. You've got 3 of the most fantastic players of the game at the top of their game. Tim Duncan, the world's best. Jason Kidd, who plays with such heart, whose personality really is his game. And then David Robinson at the very end. And that last wave of the day was absolutely so perfect. And now it comes down. David walks out of the building. Tim Duncan talked about seeing David cry tonight. I saw tears of joy, tears of pride. We are indeed the luckiest people in the world to have witnessed a special day where substance conquered hype.
And guys like Steve Smith, Danny Ferry, Kevin Willis, maybe didn't play a huge part tonight, but they played a huge part all season, and now they, too, can call themselves champions. A special night indeed in the Alamo City. They will remember it for a long time.
Universal Pictures is proud to introduce the world's newest secret agent.
Johnny English.
This summer, Bean meets
can't afford any mistakes.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, sir.
Get out there and save your country.
Rowan Atkinson is Johnny English, rated PG, at theaters Friday, July 18th.
You know I like you, and I like you a lot. I like Janice a lot, too, and I know she's your roommate.
Janice?
I'm not sure how to say this to you. You know that I like you a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's just that I like Janice a lot, too, and I know she's your roommate, and I
So
wouldn't...
date both of us.
What? What did you say?
My car makes me feel like the road is my playground.
The Camry SE.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
How are the kids?
Good. Growing like weeds. Come on, guys. Stay together.
I don't want to clean my room.
What a mess.
Just to learn to be a parent. And recite a silly rule.
Are we there yet?
Thank you.
Guys, dinner.
I'll never grow up, never grow up, never grow up. Not me.
Well, they play the song, we party like it's 1999, and it's legit here because 99 was the last title season. 88-77 is the final line of the second championship for San Antonio. Although not as big a part as you would have expected in a clinching game, still a tremendous season for the second youngest person to win an NBA championship. That's Tony Parker. He's standing by with our Stuart Scott.
Only Magic Johnson was younger than Tony Parker when he won his first NBA title. Now, you watched the Spurs in 1999. You watched them win a title. What did you think watching that?
That was amazing, you know. It's nothing compared winning a championship, you know. When I saw it in 99, I said, oh, I hope one day it happened to me. And 3 years, 4 years after, it's my turn, so I'm just blessed, you know. It's like a dream for me.
Was it disappointing at all not to get the playing time that you wanted in this deciding Game 6?
It's all right, man. Speedy played great. We won. I don't care. I held that team all season long. You know, I don't care. Speedy played great. You know, we won. That's the main thing for me.
Do you think this should shut anybody up who says that Jason Kidd needs to go to the Spurs?
We'll see. We'll see. I hope they keep me now that we got the ring now.
Well, you got a ring. You got your fiance with you. Anybody you want to say hi to?
I want to say hi to my father.
Whoa. You got to say it in French.
Bon anniversaire, T. Number 1, T.
Everybody can understand that. Tony Parker, a young kid. Let's go to Mike Tirico.
Stuart, thank you. Of course, on the other side, you heard from Jason Kidd with Stu a little bit earlier. There's the disappointment for Byron Scott, denied the chance to become the 11th man to win an NBA title as a player and as a coach. A short time ago, he spoke with our Jim Gray.
Mike, thank you very much with Byron Scott. Byron, I know this is a very disappointing time for you. We appreciate your time. What did you just say to your team?
I just told them we have a very young team. We are continuing to grow as a team. We're continuing to get better as a team, and hopefully we understand how important the regular season is. The goal should be to have the best record in the league next season so you can have home court advantage. It doesn't guarantee you, the championship, but, it does make it a little bit easier.
19-0 run after you guys had a 12-point lead. What happened during that period?
Well, you know what? They picked it up on the defensive end. You got to give them a lot of credit. They really started to get into us. They started to get a lot more aggressive, and we started to rush on the offensive end and, settle for too many shots, and we took a lot of bad shots, and, they really started getting it going on the offensive end.
Can you begin to explain at all the offensive performance of Kenyon Martin tonight, 3 for 21?
No, I can't. Just, he just had a bad game. He just couldn't throw it in the ocean tonight.
Byron, finally, do you expect that Jason Kidd will be back next year?
Well, that's up to Jason. I'm sure he's going to take a look at this summer as a chance to explore some of his options, and then he'll do what's best for himself and his family.
Byron, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jim.
All right, back out to you.
Jim, thank you. And on the other side of that hallway underneath us, the Wheaties box is a champion, and Kevin Willis, the second oldest player to win an NBA championship. Only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was older when he won a title. He mentioned the Kenyon Martin performance, 3 of 23. dichotomy, the two big power forwards. Kenyon Martin, one of the worst performances in a clinching game. Tim Duncan, the triple-double, one of the best performances ever in a clinching game. A final thought from you, Sean Elliott.
What a game, and I'm just privileged to be here tonight, especially to watch Big Dave go out in style. You know, no one deserves this championship more. I'm just proud of these guys. I mean, I'm really at a loss for words. Tim Duncan is now the new benchmark, which all other players should be judged. And again, David Robinson, what a fantastic story. I'm just so proud of all those guys.
They certainly are a great bunch of guys. Sean, enjoyed it. Thanks.
I will.
Wonderful run these 58 days of the playoffs until the 57th NBA season comes to an end with a fifth straight champion from the Western Conference. The Spurs now bookending the Lakers three-peat. The quest starts anew in just 3 short months, but already the angling for 04 has begun. You've heard the conversation. Is Jason Kidd going to end up as the piece San Antonio places with Tim Duncan to run for a repeat? And while these finals were going on, the Lakers were not idle. Kobe Bryant had shoulder surgery, and Shaquille O'Neal hired a former Marine to sculpt him into shape this summer for the new season ahead. In 10 days, we all reconvene in New York for the NBA draft. The first 3 picks will likely be under age 21 with a total of 1 year in college experience. Yet, it's a group expected to usher the league into a new generation. While Karl Malone and Scottie Pippen will decide this summer where their careers will end, as you take a bigger picture look at it, you realize that we're coming to the end of the Dream Team era in the NBA. The era where Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson dominated so over the years. An era of great players. And think about, in the last 2 months, we've seen farewell games played by the greatest to ever play the game. The man with the greatest total of assists and steals. And tonight, a fond farewell to perhaps the greatest citizen this sport has ever known. But the void is not as stark. The baton bearing the class of a champion smoothly passed from one 7-footer to another. In a society where the hip lingo of hops, bling, and street cred help mold whom we bestow with the title superstar, one man earns the title simply. He evolves, he improves, he dominates. Without TV commercial hype or histrionics, just grace and greatness. Tim Duncan, the star of these 2003 champs, an amalgamation of so much that is right with sport. A perfect picture. Youth from different corners of the world bringing talent and exuberance. Shown the ways of winning by veteran examples of perseverance. And some who, just like the kids, are experiencing this taste of a champion for a first time. Others who've been there, but it still tastes sweet. The 2003 NBA champion, San Antonio Spurs. Yes, this one was won by a bunch of good guys. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com or keyword ABC Sports. Now, except on the West Coast, please stay through for your late local news in San Antonio. Great bonus coverage of the Spurs title. For my colleagues Brad Nessler, Bill Walton, Tom Tolbert, Michelle Tafoya, Stu Scott, Jim Gray, and Sean Elliott, this is Mike Tirico. On behalf of all I've named, thank you from the bottom of our hearts to the women and men of ABC, ESPN, and the NBA for their talent, dedication, and sacrifice, bringing the best basketball in the world into your home throughout the regular season and these playoffs. The good guys won one. The Admiral sails off into the sunset with a championship, and the best player in the league dominates in the playoffs. We will see you next season for more of the NBA on ABC. And for our entire crew, Mike Tirico saying good night from San Antonio, home of the best basketball team in 2003.